You think I should get like a dog or something? Like, you know, make it look more personable? Maybe a ukulele or something? I don't know. You guys deserve answers, okay? I know I've been gone for a little bit, but I had to come up with a distinct line of bullshit. You guys deserve some answers. I can't do this, man. I gotta get in front of the computer, man. Who sits in front of a bed? What kind of sympathy garnering is this? Let's be adults. Let's bring some facts.
So, here we go. You got all this? So we got a Karl Jobst video that is
appreciated the shout out.
Long. Very painfully, aggressively long. Okay? We covered Gerard the Completionist when he made his response video, and I gotta be honest with you, it's been so long, I don't even remember it. So I guess some of the stuff that I'm gonna be seeing is literally through the perspective of these two guys while we check out this segment here. It's like a 2-year-old drama, and for some reason, speaking of no motion, nobody seems to care about this, and I think part of it is because it's Karl Jobst after Billy Mitchell lawsuit, and then part of it is it's Mutahar post-drama. Like, after he said he doesn't want to do drama anymore. So, like, I don't think even their own audiences care about this story, really. I don't think anyone on social media care. I'm interested to hear about it, but, like, I expected people to be more interested, I guess, you know? I'm gonna watch Mutahar's video today, A, because it's an hour and 48 minutes, and B, because I saw one clip that was very interesting. But essentially, they're gonna be responding to Gerard the Completionist here, and it's in a different area than it was the first time that we were, like, kind of presented Gerard from their perspective. Let me see how many videos Mutahar has on the Completionist. Or open hand charity, right? We've got the Completionist should sue me. The Completionist is in more trouble. The Completionist charity has been lying to you for years. The Completionist charity scam needs to be investigated. My response to the Completionist Gerard Discord call interview. The Completionist charity finally donated. The charity situation got worse. And then Pirate Software, hey, it's been well, some different stuff here. So he was obviously super, and again, when Mutahar had made these videos, he was kind of viewed as a more credible YouTube figure. Nowadays, most people are like, hey, I like that guy, but I don't necessarily know if I want to go look at drama content from him. And I think it's probably only going to get worse moving forward. You're either, wait, what the fuck happened to Mutahar? Hold on. What happened to his hairline, bro? Did you see that thumbnail? Is it always been that far back? Jesus, who massacred my boy? Let me see, like, hold on, let me go to a different Mutahar video. Has it always looked like that?
Hello, guys and gals.
Oh, because you know what? He always had, like, the bangs in the front. He never kind of, like, he never hit that slick back. Okay. He should do his hair like that again. He's receding? I'm sorry. Dude, I always get locked and loaded on that. I don't know why. But yeah, so Mutahar, I guess, was significantly more credible when this story first came out, and Gerard is somebody that the internet wants to forgive desperately. I notice this a lot. Every time Gerard opens his mouth, whether it's been good or bad, people are, like, looking for excuses to like everything that guy has said. I think his first response was horrendous. I think his second response was still kind of bad. That's kind of how I landed on it, right? It's not, like, the worst response I've ever seen. It's still kind of bad. It's debatable, I guess, whether he was malicious or he was just kind of a moron. And most people are now leaning towards he was kind of a moron, but everyone kind of agrees that he did something wrong. So it's really difficult to make a comeback video where you're still wrong. You know what I mean? But the reason why he had a lot of room to work with is because people like Karl Jobst were making significant claims that don't appear to have been backed up in, like, reasonable fashions. And that's what they're responding to right now. Right? Because when you have these easy slam dunk scenarios, like this whole open hand situation was handled poorly. Gerard was naming charities that the event wasn't even sending money to. Like, there's tons of things to hit Gerard on, but then accusing them of, I guess, a fraudulent charity event at a golf tournament seems like kind of an overreach if it couldn't be completely proven. Right? That seems like you're just kind of milking it at this point, and you're literally shooting from the hip. It's kind of the allegation. So that's kind of what Mutahar and Karl are responding to. Allegations of, I guess, overreach on a story of a guy that's mostly still condemned.
Completionist response file number 1. All right, you got the evidence folder ready?
Okay, I didn't know he was going to lead off with this. Oh man. Okay, this is going to be the hardest part for me, and I know there are people who like Mutahar, and I'm not going to be able to sit through this, but hold on.
File number 1. All right, you got the evidence folder ready? You know, the fiber guy, right? He put the spreadsheet in? Awesome, great. You think I should get like a...
This would have hit so hard in 2024. If this shit was like January 2024, I'd be like, yeah, Mutahar, get him.
Dog or something? Like, you know, make it look more personable? Maybe a ukulele or something? I don't know.
Oh my god, dude. And no, it's not just because this guy like fabricated engineer credentials.
Anyways, let's go with that. Maybe a middle...
And like, dude, this guy hides his response videos in like 2-hour videos with like with brief intro segments addressing everything.
Part to the hair, something of that nature.
And he's trying to like giga chat over Gerard.
You guys deserve answers, okay? I know I've been gone for a little bit, but I had to come up with a distinct line of bullshit. You guys deserve some answers. I can't do this, man. I gotta get in front of the computer, man. What the hell is...
Why would he think this is like a good idea? This is the kind of shit you have to have like momentum for this to be funny and not be kind of just like a pathetic internet loser.
Who sits in front of a bed? What kind of sympathy garnering shit is this?
Yeah, you hide at your computer and don't address anything.
Let's be adults. Let's bring some facts. Let's bring some receipts.
Look, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt on the actual arguments, but there's just... I'm sorry, I do not take that seriously.
Hello, guys and gals. Me, Mutahar. And, yeah, ladies and gentlemen, let's just sit in front of a computer here, because I've got some receipts, facts...
Why is Mutahar on the floor? He's parodying the way that Gerard... Because the Gerard the Completionist video, I'll show this briefly. He looks like a midget. I don't know if you've seen... Is that, like, the correct word, or is it little... Yeah, he's a midget. Hold on, let me pull this up. Gerard the Completionist. He looks like he's the shortest person on planet Earth. Now, obviously, he's sitting pretzel style, but I like to believe he's just got extremely tiny legs. You know? Where he's just like 3 feet tall. He just looks extremely tiny. I don't know why he filmed it here.
And logic in response to a video uploaded by The Completionist. Now, I thought it was actually long past this. The story, for anybody that doesn't know...
Pretzel style? Wait, do you not call it that? Like, you sit pretzel style?
No, 2 years ago, me and another co-investigator, Karl Jobst, who you probably...
I'm not calling it fucking crisscross applesauce, dude.
...know of, worked together to...
So yeah, dude, this is a crazy roster of disgraced former, like, high-intensity content creators.
Basically unmask a charitable, like, issue that we found, right? Where the completion...
The guy on the left would never attempt a video like this ever again if he wasn't balls deep in the subject and directly called out. The guy on the right would, and that's kind of the problem.
...was stacking money, hoarding money, taking money in through various events that he himself ran, such as Indieland. He took that money in, saying that it was going to go to X and Y organization. Turns out it was sitting, apparently, in a bank account, waiting to be sent off. Collecting dust, losing its value to inflation, yada yada yada. Now, of course, obviously, we had investigated this 2 years ago, broke the story, and obviously, you know, the money ended up getting donated, $600,000 at least. And, yeah, we thought the story had kind of ended over there.
But that's not true. If it ended over there, then he'd have nothing to say. It didn't end there because there was like 3 more videos by both of you, right?
But of course, it didn't. A month ago, Gerard uploads a video called You Deserve Answers. Now, initially, I was going to probably respond to this in a few days, but I actually didn't know this video was uploaded until Karl had actually told me about it. I think it was probably like a day after it was uploaded. I had no understanding that this bomb dropped.
And I am still absolutely confident that the accusations of fraud and embezzlement will be proven false.
That was always the most... That was like a weird thing that he chose to do, was upload this ahead of finding out what that report says. Like, he's extremely confident, even though it hasn't been actually, like, finalized, that it's not going to say anything bad.
However, even if we never broke the law...
I feel like even if you're 100%, like, even if you're 99%, you should wait.
Serious moral mistakes...
Like, what was the rush to get this stuff back?
...were still made by myself and the Foundation. The open hand took far too long to donate. We never explained why it took so long until after everyone called us out. And I lied about this for all of Indieland's years, both knowingly in 2023 and unknowingly in all the years before.
Yeah, dude, This took too long to get to.
So-
or was that the very beginning version? At the end, he kind of really explained it. I forgot if that was the initial explanation or the second one. But yeah, that's why I'm like, there's no way you're calling this video good with this quote.
Broke the law. Serious moral mistakes were still made by myself and the foundation.
Like, how can you defend this? He was getting on stream saying that money was going to organizations that weren't getting paid.
The open hand took far too long to donate. We never explained why it took so long until after everyone called us out. And I
Like, people were donating under the assumption that organizations they were naming were getting money.
lied about this for all of Indieland's years, both knowingly in 2023 and unknowingly in all the years before.
So
Yeah, I knowingly lied about something. This is my redemption arc.
immediately from this clip, I was like, all right, I guess he's admitting that there were some serious moral failings to be found. And a lot of that reporting that me and Karl did was pretty much resolved from this, or was pretty much like proven correct from this statement right here.
See, I don't know if the word "a lot" is doing a lot of heavy lifting.
But throughout the course of this 45-minute long video,
Maybe from like the first video.
the lies and misrepresentation of this entire investigation gets pretty bad. And one of the reasons I'm making this video is because I was one of the principal investigators talking about this. And also,
The principled investigators, dude. Oh god, this is actually painful. I actually kind of wish I was watching Karl.
really mischaracterizes and calls into questions our ethics. And I really feel like he took this opportunity of, controversy against Karl and myself as a way to jump in and sort of try and get off the train of cancellation that he
But why was he more successful than Mama Max?
was on.
Nobody took Mama Max seriously.
Now, before we go into this and dissect this piece by piece, I think in order to show the audience this is a worse response than his first response, I want to go through his list of evidence, okay? So inside here, he provides us Google
That is a difficult task, because I legitimately don't think it's worse than the first one, but...
Drive
listen, I'm happy to have my mind changed right now.
of citations, so the archive of uploads, financial records and documentation for Indieland, research. So all right, okay, as long as I don't see like a fucking autopsy report, let's see what's actually in here. So let's go to archive of uploads. Actually, it's the entirety of mine and Karl's videos
Didn't Muta try to have you make a video essay on the Completionist? No, never.
uploaded for the world to watch. Okay, let's go to the
Even when he recommended watching your latest video? What are you talking about?
financial records and statements. So he's got what appears to be the AFTD Open Hand Foundation progress update, which is basically a little leaflet that he received showcasing, I guess, where the money is being sent to. This was sent on July
The red light gets bad. It gets annoying quick. Well, the red light means he's intense.
that he received showcasing, I guess, where the
Oh, the Max voice clip. Gotcha.
money is being sent to. This was sent on July of 2024, long after the story had broke, and some of that money was actually donated. Okay, let's look at Indieland revenue and expenses. Wow, look at this Fiverr-ass document. Of course, he provided a bunch of numbers, which...
All right, this video is not good, and I'll tell you why. Does anybody know what the fuck he's trying to say right now? Like, he's not playing a clip of what Gerard is claiming. He's just like, here's a document, here's some numbers. Ooh boy, me Mutahar here. I am completely lost. Within 30 seconds, he completely lost me.
was actually donated. Okay, let's look at Indieland revenue and expenses.
This sucks.
Wow, look at this Fiverr-ass document.
You tuned it out. Well, you didn't lose anything. This isn't your fault.
Of course,
This video is like,
he
this is weird.
provided a bunch of numbers, which we'll get into a little bit later on why I actually think
Did you just write, "Are lol cows sacred in India?" That is actually the worst comment that I've gotten today. Congratulations, you won.
these numbers are complete and utter bullshit. But he also provides operating expenses for the Open Hand Foundation. He actually shows the expenses incurred from Indieland. I just love when you give me one entire number without actually breaking down what the fuck these numbers mean.
I love when you give me these numbers without explaining why the fuck we're talking about them.
But you know what? Honestly, anybody could put together an absolute a spreadsheet like this, right? I mean, anybody could title it whatever they wanted, as long as there are no actual supporting
Mutahar, you're covering the sheet.
pieces of evidence
Mutahar, you're covering the sheet.
or documents. How the fuck are we supposed to prove these numbers are real or not? Again, these are questions that I think the audience should be asking. But when he uploaded this video, there was actually a lot of fanfare. Wow, you really owned the fucking Indian guy and the Australian speedrunning
Oh, so he's just pissed.
connoisseur over the internet. But of course, he also uploaded a third document, the Notice of Audit, that was provided by the state of California. Again, we can actually read this down the road. So he
Wait, then why did you show it to me? Mutahar, you can't bring that document to show and tell. You brought it last time.
provided 3 documents. I would say 2 of which really don't even fucking matter all that much, except for really debunking. And the third one we'll
Except what?
get into a little bit. But if you go to the actual research section, it's painfully obvious that the Completionist spent a whole year basically looking up the greatest hits of mine and Karl's controversies. So for my section, he brings up my tweets, which are all the tweets that are germane to this actual investigation, which, whatever, okay? I'm glad that you figured out how to screenshot.
Dude, I didn't know what I was getting into. I'm really fucking confused right now. Dude, for somebody who actually watched Mutahar's other videos, they weren't like this. The last time he did this, dude, watch another Mutahar video. Hold on, wait. He wasn't like schizophrenic in the previous one. Hold on. I have to, I guess, ist. Here. So, like, if you go on here and you look at the Completionist charity's been lying to you for years. He's just, like, composed and explaining the arguments.
Open Hand Foundation. Now, while it is a 501c3
Look, see?
charitable
Like, he's just explaining shit
organization,
here.
tax-free, all designed for public charity, we wanted to look into this organization with a much more in-depth look, because we found something a little unsavory. And by we, I mean Karl, Jobst, and me.
Like, he's still confident here.
You give. The more you give, the more you receive.
He's pulling things up. He's making arguments. Right now, he's all over the place. This is an OBS recording that was, like, cut into a response. Am I wrong?
Video
Like, I'm sure they're all OBS recordings, but this just feels more raw.
descriptions. Ooh, he's got some pinned comments. Check out the newest podcast episode.
Like, was he trembling while he was fucking posting this thing?
Sterling research, my friend. Brilliant. Ooh, Reddit posts on the conspiracy theories that are spread on the Completionist Reddit, which I don't own, Karl doesn't own, nobody has anything to do with, but we'll get into it. Primary source of
He sounds as mad as the red color that is, like, the light in his room.
allegations. So he brings up Karl's
Did he drink one too many coffees? Yeah, dude, this guy just snorted an espresso machine, dude.
and mine like videos, which he titles up all the views. So again, I don't know what the purpose of that is, but again, sterling research. For Karl,
He's trying to say that you guys have benefited greatly off of attacking him because he's claiming that you've defamed him.
Nick just started insulting me viciously on Twitter.
Which might be true, might not be true.
however, he brings up a
I was kind of hoping that you'd tell me if... Oh, no. Okay, wait here.
purpose of that is, but
So now we're going to sweep for Karl. Let's see.
again, sterling research. For Karl, however, he brings up a whole litany of controversies. Billy Mitchell lawsuit, Discord chats, past controversies, pickup artists, video descriptions. Yeah, I feel like he really has a bone to pick with Karl over here, but again, you might be wondering, what do any of our controversies have to
Wait, do you not think that, like, your huge 2025 related controversies... If he's making the claim that you guys defamed him, right? Let's establish some level of charitability here. Let's say he's right for in a hypothetical. Would it not be important to showcase how you guys have fucked up other stories? Like, yeah, your stuff on Nux Taku should come up in conversation. If you fucked up parts of this story, people obviously are asking, like, hey, if you fucked up X, Y, and Z, did you also fuck up this story from a couple of years ago? Now, if he's got nothing here and he's trying to use those as an attempt to, I guess, get in the good graces of people, then, yeah, obviously that's bad. But you don't get to just automatically say that, I guess, making arguments related to current controversies is just inherently bad faith.
do with facts and logic? Again, ladies and gentlemen, I like to come across these videos with actual receipts. So for the first time, I do implore that
Okay, so I think he's gonna calm down, I guess.
if you're watching this video, please put it on a second monitor if you have to, but pay attention because unlike Gerard, I'm going to put up things on the screen.
Dude, Karl Jobst had, like, a really good reputation. Associated with being, like, probably one of the best drama YouTubers. He's a gaming YouTuber who covers speedrunning, but he was probably, like, the best drama YouTuber right up until that lawsuit when people found out that he was just kind of not being genuine about why he was being sued the entire time, right? Before that, he was probably the best one. So him just being involved with something instantly added credibility to whatever the fuck he was talking about. So obviously, people are going to look back and go, oh shit, was I a bit too nice here to this guy? Was I like... Again, this is a person who showcased, and I'm serious, he showcased articles that didn't understand why he was... Like an article saying that he was being sued over Donkey Kong in a video talking about his own lawsuit, and said that the reason why he did that is because the journalist fucked up the story and he like had to show it, essentially, right? Like he was showing coverage and like it's their fault, they fucked it up, even though he put that in his video, and that was his defense for why he didn't like, or why he wasn't clear about why he was being sued.
That actually refute his dogshit points and strengthen mine. So let's go into this. Now, at the time we covered the Open Hand Foundation, one of the most important things about it was...
I was a bit iffy on Karl when he flip-flopped on Dark Viper, like what Mutahar did on Nuxtaku. Listen! I don't know if we should get into that one. But yeah, Karl had a weird flip-flop moment on Dark Viper too. Yeah, I don't know, dude. There's a lot of weird red flags, bro.
Obviously, it is a charity.
That was my first Karl red flag, and I should have treated it with a bit more respect, I guess.
The Open Hand Foundation is a charity that Gerard the Completionist had ran. This foundation was actually built from him, his family, his dad, all in memory of his late mother who had passed away with frontotemporal dementia, right? FTD. Now, the thing about it is he decided to lie blatantly about the status of his organization. Listen to this.
As a final note, I want to add that many online have noticed that the Open Hand Foundation has entered into a delinquency status with the IRS. Karl Jobst has run with this, saying that this is further proof that Open Hand did not comply with the law. In reality, the Open Hand's legal counsel was instructed by the Department of Justice to withhold their tax filings until the investigation was concluded. This delinquency status is the charity equivalent of an unpaid parking ticket and gets cleared whenever Open Hand files a specific form, which they've already taken care of.
So again, I'm not an accountant, Karl's not an accountant, Mutahar's not an accountant. We're all establishing that we're not accountants. An accountant made a video on this, and I don't know what's going on here because I think that apparently like Karl invited the accountant on to talk and they were like on good terms, and then apparently Karl just swung at him really hard in the I don't know what's going on with the accountant. My point is, none of us are accountants. I don't know how to parse this. I didn't know how to parse it then. So you just take whatever happens here with a grain of salt.
As a result, this delinquency status has been corrected and is actually explicit proof that my family and I fully complied with the investigation and truly have nothing to hide.
Okay, so there's a lot of things mentioned over there. Now, immediately he starts bringing up things on the screen that really have no, that really he misrepresents blatantly. So it makes me wonder.
Was this the only take you had of this clip?
There's a lot of things mentioned over there. Now, immediately he starts bringing up things on the screen that really have no, that really he misrepresents blatantly.
What happened to it? Okay.
So it makes me wonder if the audience that watches The Completionist is maybe clinically, like, sane or something.
Clinically sane?
So it makes me wonder if the audience that watches The Completionist is maybe clinically, like, sane or something, or maybe...
Clinically sane?
So it makes me wonder if the audience that watches The Completionist is maybe clinically, like, sane or something, or maybe they have no understanding.
I gotta be honest with you, watching Mutahar have, like, a mental breakdown unexpectedly is a bit more interesting to me than even The Completionist. So I gotta be honest with you, I'm kind of locked and loaded on this.
Of how to read, but I'll read for you. The Open Hand Foundation is Karl...
Dude, they can't read. Don't worry, dude. Mutahar is here to read, bro. Here we go.
So it makes me wonder if the audience that watches The Completionist is maybe clinically, like, sane or something, or maybe they have no understanding of how to read, but I'll read for you. The Open Hand Foundation, as Karl had posted on one of the Reddits that were focusing on this investigation, has now been classified as delinquent by the Office of the Attorney General. They are delinquent because they have failed to...
What does he think that... Wait, hold on. He's just reading Karl Jobst's comment. This isn't like a document or anything.
...file the required tax form. That means they may not legally engage in any conduct that requires registration with the DOJ, i.e. soliciting charitable funds. Despite this fact, they're still soliciting donations through their upcoming golf tournament later this year. Now, obviously, the next thing is this charity
Okay, this is the one.
definition, which, again, just read it on screen. You can see that it just says every charitable...
Now, I'm confused. Okay, I guess they're collecting donations now for an event that hasn't happened yet, and that's the criticism?
Which, again, just read it on screen. You can see that it just says every charitable corporation
Wait, did he just give up on reading?
later this year. Now, obviously, the next thing is this charity definition, which, again, just read it on screen.
What?
So it makes me wonder if the audience that watches The Completionist is maybe clinically, like, sane or something, or maybe they have no understanding of how to read, but I'll read for you. Just read it on screen.
Why did he pull out a worse microphone to not read this? Did he just give up halfway through? What's wrong with him?
Still soliciting donations through their upcoming
Dude, this guy read one thing and he's like, nah, fuck this shit,
golf
dude.
tournament later
He's just like, read the screen.
this year. Now, obviously, the next thing is this charity definition,
What the fuck is this?
which, again, just read it on screen. You can see that it just says every charitable corporation, unincorporated association, and trustee doing business in California is required to annually renew its registration. Registrations
Not a big deal. What are you smoking, crack?
must report annually by filing RRF.
This guy's insane.
1. The failure to renew the registration will lead to the organization as being listed as delinquent. Again, he just brought up
Yeah, it's the lav mic. Yeah. It's obviously a different
definition
microphone.
or
Nick is being nitpicking and biased. Bye.
again a point of what happens when you fail to
Cry about it. Go watch one of the other 50 Mutahar segments if you want me to be meaner.
actually renew it. But in the clip, he's talking about how you filled this form that apparently
I'm sorry. I'm so guys. Listen, I have zero tolerance for the fucking dick riders who refuse to watch any of the other segments on this. Who are like, you're being too mean. This guy's been like fucking insane for like 8 months. I'm sorry. We have shown
Nicholas the Goat,
we have shown
thank you for the
mountains of
$5, my
evidence
man.
of this guy's like declining mental state. I get to laugh at him now.
sit behind the scenes, but he never really shows that definition or proves it. Again, you have to read and actually comprehend what's being shown on the
Why the fuck?
screen instead of just taking the guy's
Okay.
word for it. Now, Gerard decided to blatantly misrepresent what the fuck was going on there. There's actually so much wrong in this statement that the reason I started this video off with this is to just show you how easily disprovable this fucking sack of shit really is.
Okay.
So I'm going to explain really quickly what he said. So he said that, of course, if you're reading this, the delinquency status has been corrected and is actually explicit proof. Now, how can you verify if Gerard is actually telling the truth? Well, open up a new tab. You can go to whatever search engine you prefer.
Dude, what the fuck is this?
Well, open up a
You would think this is a live streamed highlight.
new tab. You can go to whatever search engine you prefer, and you
Dude, he just had a stroke.
can go search up Office of the Attorney General.
This is one take, yeah.
California Charity Lookup. So again, if you go over here, you can go to OAGCA.gov, Charities, Content Info, click right over
Dude, the vaccination is taking over.
here, and through their search tool, which is easily accessible by going to search by agency or the registry search tool right over here, and inside organization
Dude, why is it so small?
name, you can type in Open Hand Foundation. As you've already seen, I've done it. Hit that old search button, and the bottom organization is the one that belongs primarily to Gerard. Now you can see, as of me literally recording this video, which it should be edited and going live like literally in the next couple days, it is delinquent. It probably will still be delinquent by the time I upload this fucking video. But that doesn't even really matter.
Didn't he say that it was going to be delinquent until after the situation was resolved? And then they would... I thought Gerard said they weren't going to do anything about it until after like the report is finalized that hasn't come out yet.
California is required to
They've already taken care of. It's cleared whenever Open Hand files a specific form, which they've already taken care of. As a result, this delinquency status has been corrected.
Oh, no. Okay, Mutahar's right. He said it's been corrected, and it has not been corrected.
actually decided to blatant. The reason I started this
No, he said the delinquency status has been corrected.
name, you can type in Open Hand Foundation. As you've already seen, I've done it. Hit that old search button, and the bottom organization is the one that belongs primarily to Gerard. Now you can see, as of me literally recording this video,
Someone just says he both of the fat bearded guys. Dude, he's doing his hair to try to look like Gerard.
which it should be edited and going live like literally
But he makes him kind of look more unhinged.
in the next couple days, it is delinquent. It probably will still be delinquent by the time I upload this fucking video. But that doesn't even really matter.
It's because he can run as a charity until it's updated, and he did another one. I don't know. What are people saying about this? Yeah, I lied into so yeah, it's very Karl and Muta's responses combined are getting scarily close to the entire Lord of the Rings trilogy worth of length. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think that people watch these videos. I genuinely don't think so. I was polling my Discord server today and I asked what people thought of it, and nobody had watched this yet. I think they're just in here to like assign position. Newest comment. What's funny is the dude could have just come out and took responsibility and apologized, and he went back to went back to his gaming videos. Nobody would have gave a shit, but now he kept adding fuel to the fire. I think that like the gaming people are going out of their way to try to forgive him when it's not even reasonable, I don't think, to do so. I'm not asking, but do you guys want money to hide this? Rhetorically, I'm not asking, but do you? You were definitely not cooking. So I guess he's getting some negative comments here. I just don't think people watch these videos.
In this situation. So if you actually go looking at this organization, you can see that it verifiably is him. It's actually delinquent because it's incomplete filing. In fact, the IRS 990 form is required in this situation. So you might be wondering, okay, well, what is the actual problem? First off, he said that it's not delinquent. It verifiably is delinquent. And if you actually go to the...
Which, yeah, I think it's a reasonable credit. Unless there is an explanation as to why this form would say this and they're no longer delinquent, like if it's not updated by a certain date or something, yeah, assuming that's not the case, then yeah, I think this is a fair criticism.
Bottom over here, the latest posting is this RCT 451. Again, you can click that, open it up, check that PDF file for yourself. You can see that this is the Open Hand Foundation.
But that's May 2nd, 2025.
And inside the Open Hand Foundation, I'm not just presenting this, I'm going to read it for you. This is a delinquency notice and a warning of assessment of penalties and late fees and suspension or revocation of registered status. This was posted May 2nd, 2025. And if you actually look over here, they even reference legal code in this situation, an organization that is listed as...
Again, a lot of Mutahar stuff is just like reading legal documents. And I don't know, what is Mutahar's background on... He doesn't really have any. This just screams like I'm reading the law that I Googled with I'm reading a ChatGPT legal prompt or something.
Delinquent.
I don't know what... This is, I mean, it's great. I don't know what the significance of any of this stuff actually is.
In good standing. And
He's an engineer.
It's prohibited from engaging in conduct for which registration is required, including soliciting or dispersing charitable funds.
To disembodying charitable
And here they
funds.
provide California Code Registration Title 11, Section 312. Which will open separately real quickly, but let's go back here. The organization may also be subject to penalties, yada, yada, yada. Its registration may be suspended or revoked by the registry. Once you submit the delinquent records, you will be notified of the amount of any late fees that are owed. So immediately when you look up that exact title, code, and registration, it belongs to registration must be in good standing to operate or solicit. A person or...
So he's saying they should not be operating. They should, like, he's arguing Karl is correct in that Reddit post.
Entity subject to the registration requirements of the Act must be registered and in good standing with the Registry of Charities and Fundraisers to operate or solicit for charitable purposes in the state of California. A registration that is delinquent, suspended, or revoked is not in good standing. See, delinquent is not in good standing. And what are they registered as? Delinquent. Of course, there's no secret behind-the-scenes update. That literally is the public record that anybody donating to this charitable organization should publicly be able to see.
I don't know. Maybe I need to be watching Karl's video. I want to know what the evidence that the golf thing is fraud. Right? Because obviously when we were watching even the accountant's video going over this stuff, Mutahar was not as harsh, I guess, as Karl was. Karl was kind of firing from the hip. And I didn't think that he showcased enough to say the stuff that he was saying.
And it is prohibited from engaging in conduct for which registration is required, including...
Oh, Billy, what's going on? Discount code Nick has been hot today. We need to get those labels in the market. Yes, I'm sorry, Billy. I will get them done as soon as possible.
To solicitation for charitable purposes, a person or entity subject to a cease and desist order is not in good standing. And of course, if you look very carefully at how brazenly terrible this organization is, you can see that on October 9, 2025, which is actually one of the reasons why me and Karl waited to release our videos, is to see if they were brazen enough to run this actual charitable organization. This event, this
Run this charitable organization.
golf event. while they were delinquent. Look at that. They even got some photos from the 2025 PBD Convenience Cup Challenge where they actually do have people registered in their organization. The organization that goes to the Open Hand Foundation? Boy, I wonder what their status is. I mean, you can fucking look it up for yourself. So again, when somebody like this blatantly just misrepresents the story, it makes me wonder what else this scumbag...
Okay, so I guess this is like, hey, we got him on this, therefore everything else he's saying must be a lie.
Piece of shit...
Which again, is fair.
...is willing to lie about. But we'll go into that real quickly. I also want to reiterate that, look...
Wait, what is this?
At the end of the day, there's going to be three people that you probably don't like. It's me, Karl, and Gerard.
Why is he preempting the fact that everyone watching this video already hates him?
And, you know, there's a obvious chance that all three of us can be complete assholes. But the thing
That you are. You absolutely are.
is we're coming with facts and receipts. And I think for people that are uncritically looking at this and just trying to pick a side of which internet personality they like the
Bro, just show me the facts and receipts. It's like the third time you told me they're coming, bro.
most.
What are they, the dragons in Game of Thrones? Just give me more shit, dude.
Remember one thing, okay? You can either believe him at
Why is he... This is third microphone of the video, yeah. Dude, why is he so scared of posting this?
his word when he says that, you know, they filled some, I guess, forum where, I guess... this whole delinquency status was treated like this unpaid parking ticket, which, you know, I guess could be one thing.
Billy said, an example of the law never being that simple is the fact that the DOJ instructed OpenHand to not file its document until the investigation concluded. That instruction probably provides a legal defense. And again, that is what's being claimed there. So yeah, if that is accurate, he's saying that you can't trust, because Mutahar is saying, look at this document, I'm not a lawyer, this is my interpretation of what it says on the screen. But again, I don't know if Gerard's telling the truth or not. And that's kind of important because Mutahar is trying to say that this entire argument is why you shouldn't believe him. Like, this is a preempt, right? Like, this is a reason why Gerard isn't telling the truth. But I have no way to vet. Gerard made a mistake by not waiting until this DOJ investigation completed. Honestly. His biggest mistake was rushing to make this video. I don't know what he gained by posting it, like, quickly. But I don't know if Gerard is lying, and I have no reason to think that, like, in this case he is.
Or you can actually, you know, use your own brain. Again, I'm not being
Mutahar never explains why people should trust the Canadian YouTubers reading America. Yeah.
a conspiracy theorist. And
He's a legal engineer.
you can go directly to the government site, verify this information for yourself, and see that what he is saying does not match up with the objective truth that one can look at from the government. So unless the government is fucking lying or not updating these, you know, websites, which would be a whole different controversy, much, much difficult to prove, or, you know, he's just full of shit, which in my opinion is the most likely point. I also decided to go to
Which, yeah, that is fair, because even if the government instructed him to do that, he is saying it's been resolved. That is a good point.
their actual website, the Open Hand Foundation, and it turns out that the Open Hand Foundation is still, as of this moment, requesting donations. In fact, I even did donate some money, to which, unlike Gerard, I will show you a bank statement from me showing that I have sent $5
Wait, are you insinuating that he didn't send the money?
dollars to this charity
What does he mean, unlike Gerard?
that I believe legally is not allowed to disburse these funds. I mean, why would they keep this shit operating? You would think that they wouldn't be brazen enough to, A, run these things possible. Now, obviously, look, throughout my time researching, I think that there is an understanding that sometimes you can believe that things, sometimes you shouldn't attribute malice to things that could possibly be, again, just somebody's bumbling ignorance. But I think, given the rest of the things we're about to see, I have no reason not to believe after 2 years that there isn't a malicious component, personally, inside this entire story. So let's go all the way to the beginning of Gerard. The reason I showed you this, again, is to show you that Gerard straight up lied. He misrepresented and down...
Dude, I can't take it anymore. This is gonna ruin this fucking video for you even more. Every time he gets mad, he, like, jerks his whole body, and his stupid microphone just keeps making it makes like a rumbling noise. Listen to this.
I have no reason not to believe after 2 years that there isn't a malicious...
Dude, this thump 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 thump. It's like a fucking heartbeat.
To the things we're about to see, I have no reason not to believe after 2
It's driving me fucking insane.
years that there isn't a malicious component, personally, inside this entire story. So let's go all the way to the beginning of Gerard. The reason I showed you this, again, is to show you that Gerard...
Dude, it's Morse code. Dude, he's like, dude, Nuxtaku really sucks, guys. I just can't tell you. He's got too much shit on me.
straight up lied. He misrepresented and downplayed this actual delinquency and said it was something like an unpaid parking ticket. Dog, I don't know how fucking stupid you are, but this is actually more like your license getting suspended. It's actually something that I brought up to Karl right there. It's where your license gets suspended. You're not allowed to operate a vehicle. So to go to the beginning of this video, he makes another misrepresentation.
I think this argument is fair. I think that this argument is fair. I don't know why we're spending 16 minutes on it, but I do think this argument is fair.
Into the evidence that he provides in the beginning of this video that I showed.
Two content creators named Karl Jobst and Mutahar Anas made videos detailing on how my family's charity, the Open Hand Foundation, had not made a contribution.
So it's okay. We've established that Gerard is a liar. That's what this video aims to prove. And then it's an immediate nosedive into me and Karl defense.
Since its founding, despite numerous fundraisers and misleading statements by myself about charitable partners. Within a matter of days, and before I really had any opportunity to present any information of my own, the narrative had shifted. I was being accused of embezzlement and charity fraud, with Karl and Mutahar directing their viewers to report my family's charity to the authorities, prompting...
And what I said is I think that people, they deserved to have people report their thing. Even if it turns out that they did absolutely nothing wrong, the fact that they lied about that Gerard lied about where money was going, yeah, you needed to be investigated for this. I will defend that. You needed to be investigated.
A criminal investigation by the Department of Justice.
Here. Now, this is available purposely for us to read. This is
just because wait, hold on. Just because your license is suspended doesn't mean you can't own a car. Again, I don't know the legal implications of what the fuck is happening here. All right, I'm not a lawyer, but that's not really a fair comparison. You're saying just because your license is suspended, you can't own a car? No, it would be that you couldn't drive the car, right? Like, they can have a charity, but maybe they ought not accept donations is the argument, right? Accepting the donations would be like driving on a suspended license. That's the argument that he's trying to make here.
Notice of audit from the California DOJ. So this is, again, the Office of the Attorney General has a duty to supervise charitable organizations under California Corporation Code Section 5250. And the government...
I have no idea why I said that. I have no idea what's going on. Fair.
Code Sections 12580 through 12599.8. One of the ways the office performs its duty is by...
It's illegal regardless. Again, though, is it illegal? If the government has told him explicitly not to file that, then... Well, maybe it still is. Maybe there aren't protections. Because the implication is, well, if the government told you not to file this, maybe there'd be... I guess the most charitable thing I can say towards Mutahar's perspective is, even if the government did tell Gerard not to file and get out of the delinquency status, Gerard never says they told the charity to continue hosting events and taking charitable donations while this is occurring, while the investigation is still happening. Am I wrong? Even if they said, don't file this paperwork, he's not saying they gave explicit permission to continue operating as normal while this is still occurring.
Conducting audits of charitable organizations. In this regard, please send the below listed documentation and information to the undersigned.
Surely Gerard has spoken to an attorney. Again, but we can't even operate off of that. I watched his first video. His first video is absolutely unhinged and horrendous. I'm not going to just assume that he's done anything correct, I guess, in terms of preparing to release a statement. Again, if he was really doing his fucking best to, I guess, be as safe as possible, why would he release it before the investigation concluded? What did he gain by releasing it before he could say that he's been cleared in an investigation?
Within 30 days of this letter. Unless otherwise stated, documents and information produced in response to the below requests are to cover the periods from 2014 to the present. Please send copies other than original documents. So again, it is more administrative than it actually appears to be criminal in this situation. So again, for him to say that he's being criminally investigated, which again, I don't know if he is or he isn't, but it's not something that even the DOJ would bring up and tell you. Why the fuck would they tell you that you're being criminally investigated? When in history has that ever been a thing where the DOJ has notified their target, yeah, you're being investigated. Must be on your best behavior there, pal. Again, reading through this entire situation, it really is just a audit in this situation, just like a procedural thing, more so than a criminal thing in this scenario, even a civil thing necessarily. But again, because it's from the Department of Justice, I guess it makes it look a little spookier to the audience.
So the DOJ is auditing him, right?
It's almost a situation of taking a little nugget of truth, a kernel of truth, and blowing it up to astronomical proportions.
Okay.
If you look at the actual corporation code from California, the corporation is subject to, at all times, to examination by the AG on behalf of the state to ascertain the condition of its affairs and to what extent, if at all, it fails to comply with trusts which it has assumed or has departed from the purposes of which it is.
He must not listen to his own videos with headphones on. Bro, he didn't even edit this shit. This guy just had a stroke 5 minutes ago. He didn't even watch this thing back before it was cut up. Somebody else must have done this.
In case of any such failure to departure, the Attorney General may institute, in the name of the state, the proceeding necessary to correct the non-compliance or departure.
Am I supposed to think, like, am I really supposed to be believing right now that Mutahar understands a fucking word that he's saying when he's reading this shit? He's just reading some shit off findlaw.com.
Now, even for example, looking through this entire like actual legal code, which you can look for yourself, you can just Google this up if you.
Oh, really? I can? That's awesome, dude.
Want to?
This is kind of the problem people have with Mutahar.
For instance,
you could just Google the law, dude.
Government Code 12599.6, for instance, goes out and tells you charitable organizations and commercial fundraisers for charitable purposes shall not misrepresent the purpose of the charitable organization or the nature or purpose.
Like the thing that I'm worried about with Mutahar and Karl, especially now, knowing everything I know about them, is it's like Dan Saltman reading Twitch TOS. You know, you understand what I'm arguing there? It's literally like, like when you're talking, like when we had that conversation with Quinn Theo, where he's like, obviously Pirate Software has broken Twitch TOS. Like this stuff is all, it's not exactly the same. Like the law is obviously much more in depth than like a specific TOS or terms of service for a website, but like it's not just black and white. Whatever the text on the screen isn't the end all be all. It's how it's applied, right?
Or beneficiary of a solicitation. So this might sound like
you can look up as much Wikipedia as you want. I don't think you should defend yourself in court. You can, dude, use as many legal resources as possible. No one would recommend that you just get up there and start defending yourself.
Criminal to you, but again, basic legal research will show you that this is actually not even a criminal code. Basically, from what I've been able to read in the legal code over here, according to government
watching
Nicholas
12599 section F, it says it shall be
Eastgoer?
be unlawful for any commercial fundraiser for charitable purposes to solicit funds in this state for charitable purposes unless the commercial fundraiser for charitable purposes is complied with the registration or annual renewing and financial reporting requirements of this article.
I'm lost again. Are we still talking about the delinquency?
Failure to comply with these registration or annual renewal and financial reporting requirements shall be grounds for injunction against solicitation in the state for charitable purposes and other civil remedies provided by law. And again, look,
holy fuck, dude. He's on his fourth microphone of the video.
There are other documents here too. For instance, Title 11 Law, Division 1, Chapter 15, the Attorney General Regulations regarding administrative enforcement of the supervision of trustees and fundraisers for charitable purposes Act. So 999.6, violations of government.
Another bad example by Mutahar, a lot of civil codes have criminal equivalents.
Code Section 12580.
Thank you, Mr. King of Kong.
And whatnot. So, of course, you can see over here the attorney.
Thank you!
Do you have monkeypox?
No.
Did your girlfriend use a strap-on and give you monkeypox?
Can we watch
No.
the Timex watch
What?
instead?
I heard you're into some BDSM shit, so I'm just wondering if that's how you got
Okay.
it. Why are you still here?
Can we watch the watch video on the side instead? I keep zoning out, but $1,000 Timex watch.
That sounds
You
insane.
think it'd be worth it? The
I don't think
possibilities.
so. No, I would not spend $1,000 on a Timex watch. I almost bought a Timex Wednesday watch, and I didn't want to spend $150.
General may take administrative action.
Bro, when you're in the price range for like what these Timexes usually, I just would rather have a Casio. You know, they're fucking indestructible. They're cool. You know, a Casio or a G-Shock. I struggle to buy Timex anymore.
Action for violation of Section 12580 of the Government Code, including but not limited to refuse to register or revoke or suspend the registration of a charitable.
Would you rather spend $1,000 on a Timex or give Mutahar $10? Oh, bro, that's so easy. 100% the Timex.
Corporation,
But I like Timex still.
trustee, commercial fundraiser, yada yada yada.
Wait, so yeah, this microphone picks up the desk bang. The other one has like the microphone bop.
Section 2 is issue a
Why is he punching the table while he's explaining it?
cease and desist order against any person or entity for reasons specified in section 12591.1 and yada yada. Or number 3, impose a penalty on any person or entity for reasons specified in section 12591. So again, penalty,
It sounds like he's just dropping shit the entire video.
from my understanding, is usually just monetary in the situation. When an administrative
What is your hold on, wait, what?
entity for reasons specified in section 12591. So again, penalty from my understanding is
Oh, your understanding. What is your understanding? Can you like give your background at all whatsoever on why I should trust quote unquote your understanding?
usually just monetary in the situation. When an administrative
Dude, Camden Gerard Davis in chat says Nexpo sued me.
action is taken, the AG shall provide a written notice specifying the reasons for the actions. An appeal of the Attorney General's actions must be filed within 30 days of the date of the written notice. So yeah, this is all government procedural stuff from what I'm able to read. Now, of course, obviously, look, is there possibly a criminal investigation? I don't know that, and
Then why the fuck are you even talking about it, man?
I don't actually believe Gerard or anybody would know that aside from the
Nick
investigating
just started
body.
insulting me
Why?
viciously on Twitter.
Jared's lawyer is prob doing things the right way. Mutahar is molding. Unfortunately, Jared will just get a slap on the wrist and be forced to close the charity.
Honestly, I think that would be a good outcome. I don't know how the fuck Open Hand is still going.
In this case, it would be the state of California's Department of Justice. And typically, from my
Yeah,
understanding,
I don't trust Mutahar's interpretation of the law. He doesn't trust Gerard the Completionist's fucking ability to tell the truth, which is great, which is crazy because I legitimately... Dude, there are 3 bad faith actors that I cannot trust explaining to me why each other suck. Do you understand how fucking difficult this is? He's like, I'm coming at you with receipts, and he's just reading the fucking law. Okay.
they don't normally notify their targets about any investigations on them until, of course, they're ready to slap them on the face with charges or whatever they deem necessary. Now, the reason why this is important for me to bring up is that Gerard basically brings up this document, assuming that...
Guy reading a random statute. So this random statute that I chose to read does not contain other statutes. Interesting.
Nobody is going to read it on the screen or look even slightly deep into it. This was maybe 5 minutes of Google researching into this document. But understandably, people who would just listen to it and be like, okay, wow, it's a criminal investigation. It's super duper serious. Even though he hasn't provided any evidence that there is an active criminal investigation. Now, there easily could be, but the reason why I believe...
I know, you said it 16 times. I understand. Yeah, there could be. Yeah, I know.
he sets this up is so that down the road, if there are...
If it took me 5 minutes to Google it, why did it take you fucking 22 minutes to explain it to me?
penalties...
Okay, it's 5 minutes of Googling. I'm just really fucking slow.
and, there isn't anything criminal down the road, he can just say, listen, guys, I didn't do anything wrong. Even though what he's showing is
I figured
even
out why this video is an hour and 48 minutes.
in the realm of what he's sort of fluffing up to his audience. There could actually be penalties, and some of them might just be monetary. Some of them may not be there at all. But remember, this is a man that admitted earlier in this video, and we're
Is he going to do this the entire video? This is a guy who lied in the first 15 minutes of the video.
Watching
He's
it.
gonna get the whole video.
he knew full well that he was making, he was making deceptive statements, knowing that money hadn't left his charity, and that he knows that there were severe moral failings.
However, even
Fair.
if we never broke the law, serious moral mistakes were still made by myself and the foundation. The open hand took far too long to donate.
Dude, I'm sorry. If I'm Mutahar here, I literally just play this part and I go, sucks to suck.
We never explained why
I would just watch this one part and be like, yeah, that's kind of what I said. Go fuck yourself. 5-minute video. Done and done. Done and dusted.
it took so
Maybe stretch it to 10 so you get the extra ad in there.
long until after
Or 8.
everyone called us out. And I lied about this for all of Indieland's years, both knowingly in 2023 and unknowingly in all the years before.
Now, do I take him at his word for all this? Absolutely not. Again, 2 years ago, I would have been like, sure, maybe the buffoon might have made a dumb mistake, but at this point, I think he's nothing more than a malicious buffoon. So do I believe it?
Dude, I used to think he was a buffoon, and now I think he's a malicious buffoon. So he's just maliciously dumb.
No, it's not. Personally, no. But even if you take his statement currently at face value, he knew that he was making,
Yeah, I heard that part. Yeah, he said that he knowingly lied.
misstatements. He knew ahead of time.
He knowingly lied. That was the quote.
long before me and Karl had even exposed this,
So I thought he said baboon. That would be insane. Mutahar would have went crazy.
that things, were wrong. So again, it's baffling
This sounds like Creepshow art, but AI Creepshow art using Mutahar's voice.
that he wants to even try victimizing himself just a little bit in the story.
Dude, this audio is maliciously edited to be like loud and annoying.
Now, at the time when me and Karl had covered the video, I just used like a charity fraud definition as sort of like a catch-all term.
Yeah, it's probably really stupid. It's probably a stupid thing to do.
But here,
Like, that's probably a dumb thing to do if you want to. Yeah.
Karl had actually sent me something in the past like day about the actual.
Dude, when I made this video 2 years ago, I just used like the first definition I saw. But yes, 2 years later, I was actually sent like a proper definition that we could read together from the penis code.
Penal code, and one that he brought up to me was actually quite interesting.
Is there like a thump the entire fucking thing? Dude, he's literally like this. He's like, hey, yeah, so this is the take. This is the take, guys. This is the take.
Now, again, I'm not a lawyer, but
He just keeps thumping.
I implore people to kind of understand or try to realize what it is. Maybe a lawyer can correct me. Maybe a lawyer can say this is good, solid stuff.
Why wouldn't you consult one of those before you make this fucking yap, bro?
But to me, it seems pretty decently solid.
Pretty decently. Seesaw!
So, Chapter 8, false person.
Pretty decently solid, dude.
But to me, it seems pretty decently solid. So, Chapter 8, false personation and cheat, Section 532D. Any person who solicits or attempts to solicit or receives money or property of any kind for a charitable, being in this case the Open Hand Foundation,
Why wouldn't you just get in touch with a lawyer? Or like,
religious or eleemosynary purpose, and who directly or indirectly makes, utters, or
maybe a lawyer wouldn't waste their time. Bro, a lawyer will always waste their time if you pay them enough money to do it.
delivers, either orally or in writing, an unqualified statement of fact concerning the purpose or organization for which the money or property is solicited or received, or concerning the cost and expense of solicitation or the manner in which the money or property or any part thereof is to be used, which statement is in fact false and was made, uttered, or delivered by that person either.
Dude, this is actually like a tragic fucking fall off. I don't even think I super disagree with what he's trying to say, but this is just an unwatchable fucking mess. His fucking videos were not this bad. Like his, not documentaries, right? But his long form, high effort videos were just simply not this bad before. This just feels like any of his 10-minute videos stretched really long with him repeating himself a lot.
Willfully and with knowledge of its falsity, or negligently without due consideration of those facts, which by the use of
Nah, dude, he actually gave a shit at some point.
ordinary care he or she should have known, is guilty of a misdemeanor and is punishable by imprisonment in the
Dude, that one was just egregiously bad. It's like he knows he's doing it on purpose.
Thank
he or
you for
she
the
should have known
$5, my
is
man.
guilty
Dude, listen to this part.
of a misdemeanor and is punishable by imprisonment in the county jail for
Dude, can you up the bass on this video to make the beat, like the booms louder? Dude, this guy, he's literally the Costco guy.
is guilty of a misdemeanor and is punishable by imprisonment in the county jail for not more than 1 year or a fine exceeding $5,000. So,
Dude, this is like worse than a Charlie video.
what part of this necessarily is really important? Well,
Dude, what did you just say? What did he just say?
in the county jail for not more than 1 year or a fine exceeding $5,000. So, what part of this necessarily is really important?
Israeli?
Well, for one, we should probably talk about the unqualified statements of fact.
We are raising money for dementia research in honor of my late mom, trying to help folks who've been impacted by dementia, working with organizations like USF,
Yeah, this is the problem. He's literally naming organizations that aren't getting money.
FTD Association of America, Alzheimer's Association of America, and so many more.
So, the thing about this statement and what you have to catch up for is when he mentions
Bro, why do you have the hair of the fucking Gen V superhero that can like change into different bodies?
these organizations by name, right?
Where you literally got the cut. You got the cut.
Now, what makes this, from my understanding legally, if it's unqualified, is that there was no disclaimer, right? Like, he never at one point was just going like, yeah, by the way, we have like plans going forward. Maybe it might not work. Maybe it won't. Like, there's no disclaimer there. It's just very much a statement that is made. Now, while there's no hard
Bro, what the fuck was that one? He has to know this is happening, right? Like, this is an edit. He's like going back. This is future Mutahar. Dude, this one was a deep breath and a slam to start it. Wait.
Disclaimer there. It's just very much a statement that is made. Now, while there's no disclaimer
Dude, it looked like the background footage shook.
there, it's just very much a statement that is made. Now, while there's no
Dude, just a deep breath and a smash.
hardline definition, from my understanding, regarding the unqualified statement of fact, generally, according to the courts, it is just considered usually a representation that is presented as objectively true, not as an opinion or estimate. So generally, you're making a definite factual claim, which it seems like that claim wasn't true, because as we had known, the
How did this video do? 177,000 views, bro. Jesus, that's not good.
money had never left the account.
Well, this is like 4 days ago. All right, that's not terrible then.
And they didn't even have a hardline set charity to donate to up until literally when me and Karl had basically asked or questioned Gerard and the organization
It's still kind of bad.
about their charitable contributions. And, you know, I would imagine that as he's sitting over there, he knows that these statements are actually false as they're being made,
Why would you imagine?
given that he just admitted in this video that he had knowingly, like, made false statements,
Fair.
even when he knew and ran an event knowing well what the nature of the charity was or what was actually going on behind the scenes. So again, it's just
So a lot of this goes if you believe what Gerard's motivations were. Gerard says, yeah, the family didn't want to make this donation unless they could reach an amount that was higher that would allow for them to select how the money is used. They had like this fixation that they did not want the money to be used on like, what is it? Administrative costs. They wanted this money that was being donated to go towards helping somebody specifically, which I think personally is like an ignorant goal. I think that you have to pay these administration costs to keep these charity doors open. Like, yeah, it sucks if all this money was being raised and it went to some fucking guy's pocket, but that guy's working. Like, he's doing a job. He's like trying to, like, he's fighting the fight. You know what I mean? Like these, essentially, I guess, the expectation that you should just hold this money while it essentially it's just sitting there. It's not like appreciating value or anything like that. For years lying about it because you have like this specific thing that you want to do that you're not being transparent about. It's wrong. Don't get me wrong. It's wrong. You shouldn't be doing that. But it's a lot more of a noble request, I guess, than they just didn't know what to do with the money and they just kept it in the account. They just lied about it for no reason, right? So if you believe his narrative, I guess, then you're probably thinking more positively towards his reasoning. But I don't know.
insane to me that he's going to make this entire
Yeah, that's what they wanted. They basically said, "Hey, we wanted it so they couldn't use the money for whatever they wanted to do with it. We wanted to make sure it was like a track donation that was being used the way that we wanted it used. But they're not going to accept that money unless they reach over like $1 million threshold," is what they're claiming.
response video and not really think it all the way through. But again, I'm not a lawyer, okay? Again, I'm just reading the law
That's the problem. Thank you, asshole. That's the problem.
through. But again, I'm not a lawyer, okay? Again, I'm just reading the law as close as I can. And
Yeah, that's why you're wasting my fucking time. That's why you're wasting everybody's fucking time.
the thing is, ultimately, if anybody wants to refute this,
I hate non-lawyer YouTubers reading shit being like, dude, this is it. But remember, dude, I'm not a lawyer. I'm just making insinuations based on my lack of knowledge on the law.
they very much can. But I do personally believe that his actions are now beginning to fall under at least this one point. Now, in Karl's video, he does actually talk a little bit more in depth about other laws that he himself is bringing up that I'm not going to jump into. And this is where
Yeah,
I
because Karl just shoots from the hip and accuses people of fucking stuff, you know?
kind of want to make a little slight pivot and talk about a claim that was being made about my content that I just don't think is true. And that is the claim of embezzlement. Now, throughout this entire
This is an old clip, right?
investigation over 2 years, I noticed that for a lot
No, this is another POV shot from a different room with a different microphone, and a different outfit on a different day. Okay, cool.
of
Cool,
people
dude.
that they threw out
Yeah, no,
the
this is
claim
a...
that I guess we accused of embezzlement. Now, obviously, Karl and I were a bit split when it came to our reporting. I would say that Karl was a little bit on the heavy-handed side. I mean, that's just the way
He was very
that
heavy-handed.
he presents a story. But I also do believe personally that Karl
What do you mean that's the way he presented the story? No, he made claims.
is somebody that presents a solid amount of receipts and factual understanding, as much as I think anybody reasonably can for researching this in his process. But obviously for me, because I was really getting my stuff checked legally, I didn't
Yeah, that's what you said about the Billy Mitchell case, too, until you were forced to say that that wasn't the case.
want to make assertions or claims that I couldn't 100% verify at that time.
Yeah, bad cop, horrible cop. Dude, bad cop, incompetent cop.
Now, embezzlement's a pretty serious claim. And I remember at the time when Gerard had mentioned embezzlement as if it was like a super duper serious accusation.
Oh, that's not good. Wait, what? Oh, wait, what? Whoa, what does that even mean? Hold on.
Remember at the time when Gerard had mentioned embezzlement as if it was like a super duper serious accusation? I went to my original videos and I actually found the only claim of embezzlement that I had, or the only mention
Dude,
of
the
it, rather,
only claim.
inside my video. And so I want to play that entire clip in context.
All right, what he just said sounds retarded. I imagine what he meant is he wasn't like making a hardline argument saying that Gerard was an embezzlement, or Gerard, he like was embezzling money, right? That's what he's trying to say. What it sounded like, he's like, dude, he's just crying about a little bit of embezzlement, right? Like it wasn't even like a hard fucking...
And then
It wasn't even like a lot of it, dude.
discuss it as it pertains to this whole investigation. So when we looked into the actual filings and we looked into this event itself and those various photo streams where we saw all those sponsors and tiers listed, unfortunately, adding those figures up, we don't actually see it accurately reflected in the public filings, which, ladies and gentlemen, might I remind you, is not necessarily legal, okay? To understand, if all the money isn't accounted for in a charity when you are raising money for the charity, the government considers that to be illegal. That can be fraudulent. That could be embezzlement. That could be mishandling of funds, which is a severe illegal no-no. Now, obviously, I think there's definitely a claim that you can make where I was saying that, yeah, for sure, absolutely, when it came to him committing fraud, I do personally believe that there was a fraud aspect
really like
inside the
Okay, I gotta know, what is your definition of fraud? I'm sorry, I gotta stop you there. What is your definition of fraud? Are you operating from like I think you're a fraudulent YouTuber, or I think this is legally fraud. I think that like this could be, I think that the fucking, if this was investigated, courts would deem him to be like to have committed fraud, right?
story.
Like I'm sorry, you're using that so liberally. Like, what are you talking about? You're like bouncing between like law and like, I guess, moral quandary.
But when it came to embezzlement, for instance, that was the only mention that I could see. And it, of course, when you add in the context that I was talking about
Nick just
Thank
started
you.
insulting me viciously on Twitter.
Bro is not even an engineer, but he can be in Battlefield 6 out now on PC, PS5, and Xbox.
charity or the events where when you started adding up numbers, or I guess as some people saying, doing the napkin math, so to speak, you know, the figures were not...
My understanding about that clip in particular is that Mutahar just didn't know what he was talking about in the filing. And that, like, I'm pretty sure there was, like, an explanation as to why that wasn't shown. If I remember the accounting guy's video, but man, that's so fucking long ago, I don't even know. So don't take that as a matter of fact.
aligning correctly. They weren't
Dude, we're talking about a 2-year-old fucking... I don't know.
reporting right. So it didn't look like the money was accounted properly. And sometimes that can lead to fraud, that can lead to mishandling of money, or that could be possibly embezzlement, right? There's a lot of ways, you know, the government who's investigating it can take it. There's a lot of ways that anybody who's reasonably...
All right, so this is my problem with it, right? He's like, yeah, I mean, I personally think that, like, some fraud occurred here, right? And then now he's going from, like, a personal definition of what he thinks fraud is to the government is investigating and can find that you're guilty of fraud, right? Those are two very different standards.
looking into a
And we're kind of just bouncing back and forth on them.
story can kind of go out that way. Was that a hardline accusation? No.
Why are we... Guys, sitting pretzel style is terminology. Like, people are aware... Like, that is a thing. Why are we fighting this right now? You've never heard the terminology of, like, fucking sitting pretzel style. Guys, Google it. That's what fucking pretzel style is. It's right there. Sitting pretzel style. is literally just it's a 5-second Google search, as Mutahar would say.
No, not at all. But again, I don't expect people to be applying proper contextual understanding of the story. There's also
I've never heard it used in that context.
just a lot to really grab. So part of this video, and the reason it's going to be so long, is that we have to sort of recontextualize, and we have to
Is that a New Yorker thing, really?
sort of bring people back to the objective
To give a
truth
big shout out
and
to
the
Nicholas
timeline
DeOrio.
Dude, stop saying Indian style. Well, I got a fucking Indian guy on the screen. You guys look insanely racist.
of this whole story. Something that Gerard is completely incapable of doing. Now, there was a couple other things.
Why is the fucking audio balancing so wild? Dude, I just raised it because he's so quiet.
This whole story. Something that Gerard is completely incapable of doing. Now, there was a couple other things.
Holy fuck, dude. Do you not even look at this thing before it comes out? This is insane.
Story. Something that Gerard is completely incapable of doing. Now, there was a couple other things, legal statutes that Karl had sent me, and I highly implore whenever he gets his video, it'll probably be out by now, like, it'll probably be out, like, probably a day, this video will come out, like, a day or two after his, but if you watch his video, he has a couple more legal statutes that he touches upon that I'm not going
Dude, I don't even see him moving enough to justify the amount of fucking bangs in the background.
to necessarily go into,
He's a sound engineer.
but again, that's for his
What you guys don't realize is this is a sound engineer. This is peak performance. You're just not ready to hear it. Oh my god,
video watch,
dude.
so you should definitely check out Karl's
Hair is parted like Moses parted the Red Sea.
video. But again, I want to go into another situation. His claim
Yeah, dude, he's too busy bragging about owning every single 7-Eleven in Canada to edit his videos.
with the organization UCSF.
It was around this point that I realized that I was in way over my head. I had just lost my job at G4, and finances were a complete mess all around for myself and my company.
You guys know he said that, right? He's like a real estate mogul who owns multiple 7-Elevens.
I was scrambling to get the Completionist restructured with new ideas and a new tone. And I was practically traveling or doing some work event almost every single week, almost the entire year. But everything was up in the air, and all of it was on me, all at once. And on top of all this was the news that I now had to fix a problem that had been unknowingly brewing for several years.
Dude, I love his arm movement because it looks like he's just fucking waving his hands below the camera. Dude, I'm sorry, I'm just noticing it. I'm a noticer right now. Look at the way he moves his arms. Look at he's just like crossing them violently below the camera.
Everything was up in the air, and all of it was on me, all at once. And on top of all this was the news that I now had to fix a problem that had been unknowingly brewing for several years.
Now, again, the thing about Gerard that's really funny over here is that, again, if you take this statement at its value, he's almost trying to, like, paint himself as sort of like this unknowing victim. Like, guys, I had all these responsibilities. You know, I had to misrepresent this charity. I had to misrepresent these statements. And, you know, eventually this problem is just
I mean, it sounded like he did kind of apologize, though.
brewing the whole time. What problem was that? A problem that me and Karl didn't even bring up the entire time? Like, you knew ahead of time there was something wrong, and you still went through
Yeah, I mean, that's what he said.
and ran your
Can I
operation.
say something to you, Nick?
Thinking that,
I
you know,
really
nobody
like-
was going to be the wiser.
Why?
Had you been completely honest and truthful about the charity that, you know, you guys were
We know, that's what he said.
completely mishandling, let's be completely real here, I think things could have went a different way. Sure, would people have been pissed then? But at least it would have been better than how it would have ended up blowing up, especially with the response that he had given.
However, even at this point, I couldn't just do whatever I wanted. And this is where the real conflict started. I tried my best to express how upset I was, how upset all of you would rightfully be, and that this could cost me and so many people who worked with me everything we had created and built together, and I was simply brushed aside. I had learned the hard way that the charity world moves at a glacial pace, and I've been going around touting all these organizations and all the good we'll be doing for many years,
Because you're a fucking moron. Literally, if you're not malicious, you're the dumbest person on the planet.
only for all of it to be a bunch of empty promises. Even after
Who the fuck just starts naming shit, dude? Yeah, we're doing Stand Up to Cancer. Yeah, we're doing that one, I think. Is that a charity? We're gonna do the, we're doing the Red Cross. All right, make sure some of that money goes to the Red Cross. Like, why would you ever announce a name of a charitable organization that you're not sending money to?
I stepped
How
up
does it even happen?
my best effort,
I don't even think I can't even conceive of this. But if I didn't know this had already happened, I wouldn't believe a person is actually stupid enough to do what he did.
Efforts to donate as fast as possible would never be good enough, as every decision I wanted to make now had to be approved by a long list of people on both the open hand side and the potential benefactors that I have been speaking with. So I feel that some context on my family might be helpful right here. I'm the youngest of 5 in a first generation.
We're joining the war of cancer on this side of cancer. We're going to be donating the entire amount of the Open Hand Foundation to Marlboro.
Lebanese immigrant household. My dad has always loomed large in every aspect of my life, and that absolutely extended to my own experiences with the Open Hand Foundation, and at times, even my own business. The expectations were that I should have been an engineer, or I should have been a lawyer. Instead, I'm a video producer who plays
is he going to play the joke about the engineer?
video games on the internet for a living. If you ever watched the Completionist live show from a few years ago, then all of this should sound pretty familiar to you. I did not have the final call on any major decisions when it came to the Open Hand and its finances. I was one of many people in charge.
So obviously, you know, a lot of this comes down now to him, again, may I remind you, admitting in this video that he knew for a period
We know Mutahar, we got it.
of time before me and Karl had ever exposed
Nobody is denying this, everyone agrees with you.
this, that something was wrong, that the charity was not actually distributing the funds to the organizations that it was stating. Now here's the thing, I get it. Obviously, this is not just his charity, it's a charity involving
Unfortunately, though, like, he's the YouTuber who promoted it, and he's got to kind of, like, front the blame.
his dad and, you know, his various other siblings, right? So there are...
I just saw Keffel's
Probably
tweet.
Anissa Jomha.
Nicholas DeOrio.
No,
Kef
not
was
Anissa.
appreciated the shout out.
that one needs to take. Now, here's the thing. Being that he was a former director of this charity, he had a responsibility legally to be on the up and up. And you could say that, oh,
What does that even mean? He's got the legal responsibility to be a certified good boy. dude, he's got from a legal perspective, he's got to be on the uppers.
maybe he wasn't there. Maybe
Yeah, the 34% rule says that he's got to be doing a joyful day.
then he's not meeting his actual responsibilities, the baseline responsibilities for operating a charity. Now, the thing is, he starts doing this whole, like, daddy issues thing where, you know, I'm the
This is totally fair, bro. He's doing the sympathy shit too.
first generation
I'll be even fucking nuclear here. I don't like what Gerard does with his mom every time he drags her into the conversation and the controversy.
like immigrant of a Lebanese American family. Here's the thing, I'm a first gen immigrant. In fact, if any
Bro, it's 2025. Nobody cares if you're lesbian. All right, let's move on and talk about the issue.
I am, in fact, the immigrant, okay? All right? I was born abroad, came here.
Dude, you were born abroad?
And the thing is, I get it. His dad sounds like a proper fucking asshole. And don't get me wrong, his brother, Jacques, I think is slightly a slimier piece of shit than
Oh my god, dude. Holy shit. I didn't even... What the fuck?
Gerard. But then again, I don't care if your dad is overbearing or if he's like sort of this patriarch. At the end of the day, you are a man as old as I am, okay? And when it comes to operating and running a business, these are things that I'm sure Gerard knows. These are things Karl knows. These are things that I know. Even if you just took the enterprise of our YouTube channels as a sole fact in
No, bro. No. Come on. Dude, I know. Guys, I know like how to do a charity, dude. I'm a corporation on my YouTube channel, man.
in that comparison. So the thing is, you know, if they're going to run
Dude,
this
my fucking YouTube channel's got a fucking an LLC attached to it. I know everything about business.
charity, you should have, at your own behest,
That's insane.
not done Indieland, right? That was under your corporation. That was under your company. That was under
fuck?
TOVG. So you didn't really have to go you don't really have to go and run this charitable event knowing that the charity wasn't exactly meeting its responsibilities. Again,
Gerard comes off as a man baby. Oh, fuck yeah, he is.
when you really analyze the story and the statements and the parties involved and just the basic facts of this case, then even his statement
Bro, you've said this like 80 times. Can you just show me
doesn't
them?
make sense. If anything, it just sounds like he's really keen on throwing the dad, maybe even the siblings, basically under the bus, if it means that he can sort of skate by, right? He wants you to really, he's trying.
He's acknowledging that he lied. Outright telling people that he lied. Knowingly. about it. I think even in the worst possible interpretation of Gerard, I think he still is making an attempt to take responsibility, right?
Trying to be like almost a hero, a victim of the story. I get it. He's taken some responsibility in the situation.
Okay. Sorry. Porsche champ.
And I almost do applaud that. But then again, when I see the slimy
But then again, he sass that I'm like an engineer, so I actually think that he didn't take enough.
over here, this
He made a joke about engineers, so I don't know if I can give him that charitability.
is not coming from somebody that is genuinely apologetic or somebody that genuinely wants to provide
Wait,
you.
I'm sorry. Can you give me the legal implications of you understanding like the interworkings of his mind? Wait, what?
This is not coming from somebody that is genuinely apologetic or somebody that genuinely wants to provide you any form of information. This is somebody that, basically has taken a hiatus and now he needs to make some money. Maybe he's in on the outs with it. Maybe he's on the outs with his family. I don't really know. I'm not going to care to speculate on that.
Are you talking to like first-hand knowledge here?
But he needs to come back and earn some living, okay? Earn some money.
Nah, I think you have enough money, but like the rest of that kind of sounds like you.
And this is sort of like a almost attempt at saving face. Really, like, I think Karl...
I don't understand. He's like, I'm going to sit here and bring the receipts. And he's making it... Dude, he just, like, pauses to put a blue shirt on and use a shittier microphone that's quieter. And then just starts making character-based arguments in the middle of the video. What is this? Like, there's no way he could put chapters in this, because it's a ramble. Like, I think that Dark Viper makes more, like, jointed videos than this.
Pretty much put it best for me when we were investigating this again. Is that really this is more Gerard capitalizing on the controversies that Karl had gotten into, that I had gotten into, than actually providing fair answers.
Yeah, I heard you say that 16 times.
Which is fine, I get it. Sometimes you're the hammer.
What is this, bro?
Sometimes you're the fucking nail. But I refuse to be the fucking nail getting hammered by this goddamn idiot, okay?
I don't think that's up to you.
Simple as that. So again, really analytically think about a story. Even if the family members are total pieces of shit and they've basically voted him out, right? He didn't have to run charitable events knowing full well the nature of how bad things had gotten. He could have just completely stalled that event. He could have just said, hey, listen, we're going to skip Indieland for this year. And then he could have kept working behind the scenes to make sure that money is donated. And when it is, he could have probably announced that to the public, maybe explained things in grander detail then, but not actually raise money and make statements he shouldn't have made.
I know, that's what he took accountability for. That's the only thing that I thought was, like, okay, is when he finally admitted all that stuff. We know this is bad. He is so terrified of the fact that people are going to defend Gerard because they hate him. But I think that most people, maybe this is for the delusional gaming YouTubers that are begging for him to come back. I guess maybe that's the issue.
At the time when he knows that things were wrong, right? Like, it's stuff that, again, it's easy to get confused in this situation because it's been 2 years and the story is kind of pretty massive, right? In terms of what you have to know. But it's easy to get gaslit. But I refuse to be gaslit because I was one of the principal investigators in this story. Now, mind you, when it came to a message that, Karl had received, remember, to understand the timeline of this investigation, Karl had actually emailed the Open Hand Foundation ahead of time in the situation. Because obviously, if you're going to be covering a story, you probably do want to get every side. So Karl had sent out an email inquiring...
Wait, are we now going to go back to the interview? Like, oh, we interviewed him at the time?
...about the situation. To which even in their...
Oh, I'm sorry. I gotta hit you with a button.
And you know what else is massive?
Jesus.
Response email, they had said, while we understand the necessity of due diligence and charitable engagements, the insinuation of wrongdoing on the part of the Open Hand Foundation is both unwarranted and unfounded. We conduct our operations within the bounds of legal and ethical standards. So in this statement alone, they're saying, bro, there's nothing wrong going on. But here he's admitting that there was a big problem brewing in the back end, okay? I didn't know it. We were doing things wrong unknowingly, and then I did things wrong knowingly. Like, homie, what the fuck are you saying? Did a lawyer check this at all? Probably not. Now remember, he says...
Is he just going through, like, the greatest hits? I don't...
The word, like, he says that, hey, we don't want people to think that there's, like, empty promises going out. Bro, in your Indieland event, you were basically saying that you were directly working. You were working...
Yes, we know! He is He has literally acknowledged this.
with these you were naming these
Yes! Yes, he did that.
organizations directly. There wasn't even a disclaimer that was given, okay?
This is one argument 72 times.
That is the issue.
We are raising money for dementia research in honor of my late mom.
Yes! I've
What's the
seen
name
this
of the
clip
guy,
already.
fucking Keemstar Orbiter, Nick
Oh,
Oreo.
Miss Kiff is suing
Mr.
Emaru,
Oreo.
Asmongold, OTK. That's crazy.
Trying to help folks who've been impacted by dementia.
Thank you. We covered that. That's why I was being sarcastic, but I appreciate you.
Working with organizations like USF, FTD Association of America,
Yes, I saw this. Yeah, he also, yeah, no, this is something that he did that was bad.
Alzheimer's Association
Like,
of
very bad.
America, and so many more.
Now, he also mentions that charities work at this glacial pace, so it took them a while for them to actually stack this kind of money. And of course, this is where he comes with the excuse he's running for in this video, where
Okay, finally, we're acknowledging this.
apparently they were wanting to stack just crazy amounts of money. Like, they wanted to have one
No, it wasn't crazy amounts. They wanted $1 million.
giant donation that they could send in a restricted fashion.
However, after we finished our 5th show in November of 2022, I spoke with my family about all the good we were doing, and I really wanted to get a representative from one of our charity partners to come and speak at IndieLand 2023.
And they're like, haha, what do you mean?
Only then did I learn that the Open Hand Foundation had never made a contribution since its founding, and there were no official partners. All the money
You
Thank
couldn't care
you.
about rape, and you're hyping up a dude who has a segment on a show called Ultimate Rape Review.
I mean, this is just
Is he
insane.
retarded? I am getting dementia watching this.
was
This
sitting
is
there,
good news. We can be the Truman Show for 30 years.
Yes.
touched and accounted for,
We got what?
ready to be donated. But at the time, there was a massive disagreement between myself and my family.
And you know what else is massive?
I personally thought it was important that the money be donated right away. Meanwhile, my family's perspective was very different than mine. They had been negotiating with several
The problem is your fucking family wasn't the one running these fucking events. And your fucking, well, I guess some of them, I guess they were, but you know what I mean? Like, your family isn't disclosing this to the people who are donating. The people who are donating think money is going to XYZ charity. That's the problem.
organizations to establish contracts to take a bulk sum of money as a restricted donation.
Now, this is an interesting point, and honestly, I probably wouldn't have even made these videos from my angle if he had just told me any of this in our initial Discord call, which, as you remember, has been publicly available for 2 years, but one snippet I dug out of it was really interesting. So they've got the story about a restricted lump sum donation, but...
Wait, you wouldn't have made the video if you found out that all the money was sitting in the account? I would have made the fucking video still. If this was my story and he's like, well, we want to make one lump sum donation, you wouldn't have made the video of them lying about where all the charity money went to? You would have just accepted that answer despite the fact that, like, people were donating under the expectation that their money from previous years had been donated on their behalf to charity?
Listen to this portion of the Discord call.
Yeah. Well, what? I'm not trying to ask for forgiveness. I'm not trying to hide this, but what would you guys like me to do? Because I want to do right by everyone involved on my
Yeah, I don't even necessarily believe that Gerard wanted to donate the money immediately to charity until maybe even after this call.
side, and I want to absolve myself of this as best I can. And I know
He's like, me and my family disagreed here. It's like, well, why are you asking?
I
Why
can't-
did these guys have to tell you that if you were like gung ho on begging your family to donate this money?
can't. And you know, you guys are some of the biggest creators in the space. When you guys will, whatever you guys will say, this is gonna follow me for the rest of my life. And I just want to be able to do right by you guys and by my community and by my family at this point. And I just want, you know, like I literally am about to like donate all this money today and prior to that, earlier this week and the week before.
Yeah, again, if this thing was on the up and up, how did they make this fucking donation so quickly? We couldn't find anything up until the moment we were pressured to do so.
And I've just been sitting here crippled.
It kind of leans into his story being true, because if they were able to find someone to take the money that quickly, despite the glacial pace, maybe that means that they were willing to give up that, I guess, documented, I don't know what it's called, documented donation, tracked donation. Well, that would explain why he was able to donate the money so quickly if he abandoned the concept of a tracked donation.
Trying to figure out the best way to handle this, because I felt like if I donated
They made the donation only because they found someone who would donate an equal amount. Ooh, I didn't realize that. Thank you.
the money,
Yeah, restricted donation is what I've been meant to. I meant to say that the entire segment. So I guarantee I'm gonna get a million comments about that.
the minute you guys
But thank you.
emailed me, it'd be a situation of, well, he's trying to hide it and he's admitting guilt by
Yeah, the money had depreciated over time. That was another major factor in it too.
doing that. And I never felt that way, but I understand completely that you guys could easily argue that, and it would just make me look more like a scumbag. And you know, I just want to, you know, I want to do right by you guys and what you think.
Why do you want to do right by you guys? Like, all this stuff is just so pathetic. Why don't you want to do right by the people who donated the money? Why don't you want to do right by the charities that you like? I don't know. This is fucking gross.
You guys got the email and I said, please tell us about benefactors. That was genuine, because I haven't found it.
And it's like your whole family is into this restricted donation thing and they just never shared that information with you prior. That's like, dude, apparently this restricted donation thing was really important to every other member of Gerard's family, and they just never clued him in on it. He had thought they were giving money to every fucking charity under the sun in as small intervals as you could possibly imagine. This was like their passion project that Gerard was just never pulled into the fold on until he asked about it.
A factor that I'm completely happy with. And
So literally, as this call is happening, he's telling us on.
I think it's because Gerard had zero knowledge of it and winged it the whole time. But that's why that Gerard should be like still blown the fuck out over this controversy. It is insane that a person running a charity event would blind fire explanations of what the charity is.
The call that he literally has not found a benefactor that he's actually.
Yeah, like his family sucks, maybe even more than him, letting him kind of, because again, his family, if they're knowledgeable on this at all or tracking this, are letting him take the fall. They are watching this guy say that money is going to organizations that it's not going to, and they were not correcting him if his story is to be believed. So yeah, when they say, well, the family he's shifting blame, it's like his family fucked him. His family fucked him royally. They knew in his version of events, they knew this money wasn't being donated. They knew it was for a restricted donation. They did not clue him in, right? So, like, I understand why if Gerard is telling the truth in that, yeah, his family would be worse. Yeah.
Happy with, or anybody that would be a beneficiary to.
My father runs a golf tournament.
Their, generous grant. At this moment in time, he could have immediately told us, yeah, we have a restricted donation goal. Now, granted, it's still unethical that you haven't relayed that anywhere, but...
Dude, we're taking this for granted.
Again, the story just keeps changing all the fucking time. And the thing is, it's easy to get gaslit in this entire story and not know what's going on, but you have to really go through the weeds again and look through the facts of this case, the actual, timeline, and see for yourself that realistically, at the end of the day, based on how he relayed this to us, he was more worried about his image, right? Which I guess understandably so. We are all public figures. That's something that, we all give a shit about. But I always really, and especially now, think that the whole charity thing was very much an afterthought. Okay, this charity was more a vanity thing to me. At least it appears more like a vanity project to me. But again, let's go back to the facts of this, right? Now, of course, he mentions that, look, there's a lot of problems that have gone on. He brings up the idea that, listen, we I got to go through just layers of communication. He never once in this entire video or in his Dropbox or Google Document Drive or whatever throws any of these emails in, right? Which is funny because if you...
Wait, he needs to... You want him to leak his emails with his family? Or the ones with the charitable organizations denying the donation, saying it needs to be restricted? If it's two, right? Like, oh, we're not taking a restricted one for that amount of money. That would make sense. I don't know if he wants to do that and damage relations with like future charity organizations, though. If they intend on keeping Open Hand open, which it seems like they do. But the other one is psychotic. You want him to like leak his emails with his parents?
Actually go back to the call we had, he does in fact admit that he had these long line of recorded communications.
Did anyone tell you that the money was going somewhere before then? Were you being misled?
No. No one told me anything. I assumed that it was all going to a charity, and I assumed incorrectly.
Okay, so you still thought it
But then why did you have specific named charity? Dude, this doesn't make sense still. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I know the truthers out there. Why would you even... Why... How did named organizations enter the fray if you were just assuming?
was going to the UCSF.
Whether it's UCSF or a partner that's also on our website, because we don't have any other benefactors currently. Like that's why I was like, well, they're taking care of it, but nothing was ever brought to my attention. I just knew that conversations were happening between Alzheimer's Association of America, AFTD Foundation, UCSF started a new organization, I think called like Bluefin or Blue Group, which is like supposed to be their 501c part of their organization. So I know I have a paper trail of us talking to other organizations as early as...
I guess maybe this is supposed to appeal to like delusional people who think that Gerard is 100% innocent, even if he's conceded to arguments that were like deplorable. But I don't know. For me, it's like I'm just rewatching the first video again, and Mutahar's like, this is Mutahar's first video a second time, but now he's schizophrenic and banging on the walls.
2020, 2021 in an attempt to...
I like how you can just hear the deep breathing. I don't know if that's current Mutahar rewatching this clip or if that's Mutahar in the clip.
Pay them what they were owed. And most of the conversations we had from some of the bigger orgs like Alzheimer's, they were like, look, if you're not going to pay more than 6 figures or 6+ figures...
How is this claiming that embezzlement? Because he's not even saying embezzlement anymore. Didn't Mutahar... Like, Mutahar isn't alleging... I thought he was outright saying that he didn't allege that in the context that it was being claimed in, right? He was just saying it could be embezzlement if the government investigates it. They could determine it was embezzlement.
Asked for.
But he's not saying that... He never claimed that Gerard embezzled money directly.
Then you're just going to waste it. So the goal on the back end for my family that I've been told is like, we're just going to raise a bunch of money and then give it to one org and like make a bigger impact rather than just giving smaller donations that don't move the needle.
So you're telling me this scumbag can go through all of Karl's dirty history, catalog that, and put it into a Google Drive?
Yes.
But he just can't go to his Gmail or whatever mail service he uses, Control F, and find the actual communication and email threads? Like, you're telling me he
with his entire family?
Can't find a single email to put up on the screen and mention it? He said that 2 years ago in a fucking call, and he can't bring that up now? And also, I wanted to include...
Oh my god, dude, can you just fucking do one... This isn't... Every sentence is a different setting.
The part where they do talk about the donation being stacked, or at least, something be made that could push the needle even further. And while he, didn't mention the word restricted right there and then, the ultimate reality of it is I still don't buy the story even after his
That's great. Why do we keep moving back and forth between, like, evidence to opinion piece back to evidence?
Because ultimately, they didn't really have a partner decided at that moment yet. It was just...
It was whoever would take the money with the restricted donation.
Throwing money into this entire account until, I guess, at some point, whenever that may be, we'll find somebody...
When someone would accept a restricted donation, is the claim.
Discuss it with them and have a big restricted donation. And here's the thing. I would actually believe all of this...
If he'd said it sooner.
If he could provide one exact... just any email.
Oh, that's stupid. Wait, you're saying if he could show you one email, then you'll just concede all your arguments?
Any recorded...
Gerard should do that then.
Of course.
I mean, I would love to see that too.
Correspondence with any of these...
I would love to see you actually concede all of your arguments if he can present one email to you. That would be fucking hilarious.
Mention entities. Remember, there are many groups that they talk to. And they can provide, again, one of these, conversation threads, which I guess they've had recorded for years now. They couldn't provide any of these to show that, yes, the ultimate goal at the end of the day is to give you $1 million, whatever it may be, or a large lump sum of money, so we can move that needle further. At some point, okay, you got to tell your dad as an adult to stop fucking you in the ass, okay? I get it.
Dude, I don't know what the fuck we're watching, bro. Dude, what the fuck happened to my YouTuber, bro? He's like going haywire.
Large lump sum of money, so we can...
Dude, it's so, like, he's so mellow in this clip, and then it cuts back to angry Muta. Like, this guy's got... It looks like he's got, like, a fucking...
Move that needle further.
Like he's like bipolar.
At some point, okay, you got to tell your dad as an adult to stop fucking you in the ass, okay? I get it. Family is tough. That's why I don't mix my family with business, all right? Simple as fucking that. But the thing about it is, it's not necessarily your dad's fault. It's not even your dipshit brother's fault. You are also a director, which means that you have responsibilities.
Dude, former director now is on the fucking screen. Bro, you couldn't just fucking reshoot this part. You couldn't just do a second take in the red room
To at least ensure that this money was sent. You had a
Wait, you say that's a donation sound?
Your dad's fault. It's not even your dipshit brother's fault. You are also a director, which means that
Is that a donation sound? What was that, dude? The fucking angels of God have reached down to ask him why he didn't fucking edit this.
you have responsibilities to at least ensure that this money was sent. You had a responsibility to know everything that was going on in the
Dude, this video was horrible.
situation and to make sure you weren't during your times leading up and making false statements. The fact that this guy knew for a year and still decided to withhold it from you shows that he's not really somebody that is to be trusted in this situation.
Dude, this guy should never operate a charity event ever again. There should never be anything like Indie Land with this guy. Yeah, no, I don't think anyone wants this guy to do more charity, right?
He is a poor steward of this donated money, and ultimately, at the end of the day, he has a lion's share of that.
Wait, this is what I said before I got him. Wait, I'm confused, Nick. If Gerard didn't know the charity was going to be a restrictive donation, why was he just naming so many charities without that knowledge? That's the part that doesn't make sense. Why was he just fucking blind firing every charity, like, organization under the sun? If he, like, why was he saying that? It doesn't make any sense, because he has no idea, right? But his family not correcting him is, like, insidious. Because if he is just an idiot, right? His family is literally letting him fucking go out there and lie about their charity without any repercussions at all whatsoever.
That responsibility
without, like, notifying him, hey, we haven't donated $1. What's wrong with you? What are you doing?
Being one of the directors.
Like, everybody has to be, like, insanely incompetent to allow something this stupid to happen.
I get it. Family fucking sucks. I'm sure your dad sucks. I'm sure your brother sucks.
What is this fucking video, dude?
I'm sure a lot of people suck. I'm sure a lot of people in your family fucking suck, okay? I get it. But it still doesn't absolve you of the sins made here.
The expectations were that
That's why he fucking acknowledged
Nick
them.
just started
This is
insulting me
so...
viciously
Oh
on Twitter.
my god.
I should have been an engineer or I should have been a lawyer.
Ha, your dad wanted the E word? The lawyer? Oh no.
Yeah, you did ban that from your chat when people called you out on lying about your, like, engineering shit.
Oh, your dad wanted you to be something more than a gamer, dude. Therefore, it's okay to misrepresent what's happening in my organization. Like, really?
Bro, you've been misrepresenting your stance as a fucking engineer for, like, half a decade or longer.
Like, come on.
I don't want to hear that shit from you, my guy.
Are we seriously doing
You literally... Dude,
this? Like,
yours wasn't even daddy issues. You're just a loser.
come on.
I did not have the final call on any major decisions when it came
What is happening?
Again.
and it did not have the final call on any major
Muta, all you had to do was put the fucking MP4 in the... What is wrong with you?
decisions when it came to the open hand and it,
Muta! That is not... Dude, that... I'm sorry. People are like, you're nitpicking, Nick. Fuck you. That is literally insane.
its finances. I was one of many people in charge.
Again.
I can go back.
And its finances. I was one of many people in charge. To the...
It's like, come on.
I did not have the final call on any major...
That's not YouTube. That's not my stream. This is the video that he uploaded to YouTube like that. I just wanted that to be very obvious.
His dad seems like a real
I don't even know how you do that by accident. Is that like a rendering error?
Terrible asshole to be around, I'm pretty sure. And look, I don't care what your family wanted you or what you wanted you to be. Look, at the end of the day, you're a man that made a successful YouTube channel, therefore turned it into a successful enterprise.
Is he talking about himself? Wait, listen to
At the end
this.
of the day, you're a man that made a successful YouTube channel, therefore turned it into a successful enterprise. probably overblew it with the amount of people he had to hire, but that's a whole separate story. At the end of the day, you are a responsible adult, okay? And look, at the end, it doesn't matter, okay? You did something pretty successful. You should be proud of it. You should, not take what your family said. Look, if my dad came up to me and said, Beta, I wish you were this instead of that, I would probably have to tell my dad, I'm like, Dad, listen, I'm a responsible adult that's doing pretty successful in my own life.
Then why didn't you do that when you were telling everybody you were a fucking engineer?
So, it is what it is. But my dad would never do that, so...
No, I guess the whole audience would instead.
Frankly, I don't have that understanding. I don't have that, I guess...
Then why did you lie?
Connection. I don't have those daddy issues.
Why is he... Okay, so then what were the issues that caused you to do that?
But again, the daddy issues do not... Again, they don't absolve you from the fact that as a adult, as somebody that was a former director to this foundation, and as somebody that knew well after 2022 that, well before me and Karl had ever asked you about this, you knew the money was sitting...
Dude, somebody heard... Who the fuck heard him do the fucking Indian accent and wrote real voice?
In an account, why did you choose to run an event under your own organization, right? Like, you as an adult should at least have the autonomy over your own company. Otherwise, are you even running your own organization? Like, these are questions that I think anybody should be asking. But again, the audience, what he's doing is he's emotionally playing to the audience, and he's like painting himself as this like big victim in this highly patriarchal like organization.
A lot of this video is like, hey, remember the time where Gerard did that bad thing that we have been talking about for over an hour that everyone agrees is bad? I don't like him. He's bad. Also, let me read some fucking legal documents. Okay, guys, that's the video.
Brother
what?
Again, if you buy this, I think I might have to question your mentality amongst his.
What does that mean, dude? Wow, the least credible guy involved... I'm sorry. The most credible guy involved in this situation. That is not a high bar to clear. But I do think you'd probably be placed... Would you put Mutahar above or below Karl? Guys, how would you rank the credibility of Gerard, Mutahar, and Karl? This is actually a tough one.
But yeah, again, really just critically think for a second and realize that, look, this is simple deflection rather than, complete...
That's actually like a fucking dangerous question. I don't know.
Ownership of the actions taken here.
So when I learned the truth, I made it my goal that
Dude, same. Yeah, just flat line across.
no matter what happened, the money had to get donated. There was no other outcome than...
I will say the only thing that Mutahar showed me that makes Gerard look like a real piece of shit is that he's acting like, wow, dude, there was only one option. That money had to get donated. And then you play the clip of him being like, Mutahar, Karl, I respect you guys. If you say the money has to get donated, I'll donate it, man. Come on. You guys have my future in your hands. I'll send the money, yeah. Like, it's so obvious that this is, like, not his mindset that he had. That I didn't remember that, so that was a good part of this video.
I would allow.
Because he's, like, floundering there, like, on the verge of tears, saying his career is over. What do you want me to do? Do you think I should send the money? And here he's like, I knew, despite what my family was saying, this money needed to be donated. It's like, that's not really factually accurate.
But the reality of it is that you knew ahead of time things were wrong, and then you still went into your own event, Indieland, and made misleading statements, okay? You're not the hero of the story. You're not even, like, you're not somebody that is, like, you're not somebody that should be sympathized with, okay? I feel bad that your relationship with your dad is that of, like, a tyrant, a dictator, and the dictated in this situation. But that's not anybody's problem. You shouldn't have went on stage and on stream. You should have just canceled the events outright and, probably been upfront and real on your end, okay?
Or replaced the relation to Open Hand and worked directly with a proper charity, like most streamers.
Doesn't matter what your family says. They involved you in this situation, okay? You can feel bad for a guy, and sure, I do somewhat feel bad. I'm not going to deny that. But he's...
I don't believe you.
My age, okay? At some point, you have to fucking stand up for yourself, okay?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. Like, you're close to my age. Why are you so pathetic?
Okay? You can't be a little bitch your whole life.
Exactly. This is what I was thinking when I was watching your content.
But then again, I feel like this is just leading into the layers of manipulation in the story.
And that's where the real nasty core to all of this is. Nobody embezzled or touched any money. No crime was committed or covered up here. And the results of the Department of Justice's investigation will hopefully one day be proof of this.
No crime was committed or covered up. Homie, you just admitted that you made misleading statements knowing full well the reality of the situation behind the scenes, and you knew bad things were brewing. I mean, I just don't understand how, like, you should have had a lawyer watching this video. I don't get why you didn't. It makes no fucking sense. How can you say...
How are you so confident that he didn't?
Say...
Again, like, Karl had a lawyer interacting with him the entire time, and all of his statements were horrendous.
That you didn't do something wrong. These are so many contradicting statements that I'm actually surprised
Did you watch all of Karl's stuff where he was talking to lawyers with the Billy Mitchell case? That guy was talking to lawyers the entire time.
Or Karl have to make a video. People should just watch this and understand, wow, what a fucking piece of shit. Simple as that.
A few days later,
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. This is not like a simple takedown piece.
on November 10th, I received a message from another creator, Mutahar and Us, also known as Some Ordinary Gamers. I respected and trusted Mutahar, so when he asked if I wanted to hop on a Discord call
Yeah, again, he was petrified, and somebody messaged him, and he jumped in the call terrified.
to talk about a discrepancy with some of the Open Hand Foundation's publicly available documents, I agreed, thinking, hey, you know what? Maybe we could chat this out.
You agreed, being like, holy fuck, maybe I can smooth this over.
And clear the air, no problem. Mutahar never once asked about the laws or regulations that Karl had asked about, so I had no reason to think they were collaborating together, especially since they had no prior history together online. I hopped on the call, assuming that this would just be the two of us, until my surprise, I saw Karl join. The rest of what's publicly available to all of you is essentially me having a panic attack while trying to be transparent with two creators I respected at the time, all at the behest of throwing my friends and family under several buses.
Oh man, you respected me at the time. I respected you, Mutahar. What's wrong with you? Now, I want to just kind of preface this and bring up the idea that what he's basically doing over here is invalidating. It's almost making us sound like the fucking TMZ of the internet. And to this, I'm going to...
You guys literally are the TMZ of the internet. I mean, I don't know if that's exactly what he was trying to say, but you kind of are.
Also admit some of my, I guess, little faults here. Because I do definitely admit that there was something that I could have done better over here. But I am going to recontextualize that this...
Is anybody here going to make the argument that, like, that's not what this was? Aren't we kind of all the TMZ of the internet?
On Nicholas DeOrio.
Keffels appreciated the shout out.
That's kind of, yeah, that's exactly what we are.
Asshole was absolutely not ambushed. So to give you an idea of what's actually gone over all over here, I want to just start off with the actual story here. Now, on November 7th...
Dude, finally, dude, I was really hoping he would bring up the actual story. That's shit, man. I was hoping for that.
Karl sends an email to Jacques, Jacques being Gerard's brother. Thank you for the detailed response. I would greatly appreciate it if you could clarify a few things for me.
Dude, I like how Karl spells his name. Karl! Jobst.
You have UCSF listed as a benefactor on your website, yada, yada, yada. So again, this was sent on November 7th, and you can read it for your for whatever. If you want to pause the video, go ahead. That letter that Karl wrote was actually a response to this letter from the Open Hand Foundation, right? This initial correspondence. So they knew Karl had reached out. Now, this moment in time, behind the scenes, me and Karl were working on this the whole time. But of course, I decided to reach out to Gerard. So on June 21st, 2022, I was like, LMAO, we hit follow at the same time. And of course he goes, that
dude, he's like, I'm not like TMZ, dude, I'm a journalist. So I wrote, LMAO.
It's crazy, dig your stuff, man, hope you're doing well. Your tweet on Radio Shack got recommended to me. Okay, that's great right there. So then, of course, obviously, over a year passes.
Dude, he's gonna, like, hold on, all right. Over a year passes, never mind. I'm sorry, I jumped the gun on that one.
November 10th comes by. To which I ask, hey man...
All right, this is like a YMS thing. It's like we haven't interacted in a really long time, and we had very brief interactions. So the expectation that we're friends is extremely stupid.
I was wondering if you'd be free for a call.
Fair.
We got tipped off about a discrepancy with your guys' charity Open Hand Foundation. Just wanted to run some of the public documents with you and get your side of the story, doing due diligence here. Which, of course, obviously he responds and goes... Yeah, man, of course. I figured this was going to come up sooner rather than later, and that something huge was coming. It's been building the last couple days. I'm in the middle of meetings for the next hour or so. Would you give me a couple...
Dude, something huge is coming.
couple of hours. So
yeah, everything that Gerard said screams guilty. I don't know, bro. It is so hard looking back to give this guy charitability, even knowing like current stuff.
He knows that something is coming up. He knows well in advance. He saw the letter even from Karl the whole time. So obviously he knows, he knows something is happening. And I do mention we got tipped off. Now, again, maybe I could have done better. And this is where I'll explain. Maybe I could have.
Wait, okay. We could be your team. We could be you and your editor. Or
just use the word.
So you're hold on. His argument is, I didn't know Karl was going to be in the call.
Karl here, but he makes it sound like that I had ambushed him with Karl.
Wait, okay, hold on.
Now, again, maybe I could have done better, and this is where I'll explain. Maybe I could have just used the word Karl here.
I didn't ambush him with Karl, but next time I would tell him that Karl's going to be there. Wait, what?
But he makes it sound like that I had ambushed him with Karl in a call, which was absolutely not true. So of course, he then messages me later down the road. He says Discord or phone. So this is like a couple minutes later, and I said, yeah, no worries. I'm in my office all day. Discord works for me.
Have you not? Wait, what are you talking about? What is happening? Have you not seen Gerard's video? I have a whole stream on it. Okay, so Gerard comes out and goes, I felt like I was kind of jumped here. I didn't expect Karl to be there. Mutahar's like, bro, this guy's a total fucking liar. Yeah, I didn't mention Karl was coming, but I used the word we, so he should have deduced, like, through telepathy, that Karl was going to be in the call when he joined.
So then he mentions he gives me his Discord tag, which I'm going to block out just because that's his Discord tag. And to which he goes, sweet, sent you a request. Let me know when you're good to call. I need a couple hours here myself. So he says, I'll let you know soon. Now again, at this point, I was kind of expecting that the call was never going to happen. And I even mentioned it back when my investigation started. I was like, listen, he's in meetings. He's probably talking to a fucking lawyer. And he's probably not going to want to say a word to me. So then, of course, he goes and says, I'm good whenever. And I said, perfect, want to call in 30.
I recommend watching Nicholas DeOrio's latest
moment in time
video.
at 5:19, I send this message. And he says, sure. Now, of course, at 5:43, I mentioned added you to a group chat. Calling. So, of course, at 5:43, I invite him to a GC. Now, again, I assume that being fucking gamers, he probably knows what the fuck a GC is. But, I don't know, maybe Gerard is actually completely stupid and he has no idea what a GC is, but that's really difficult for me to believe, okay? But now I'm going to show you the Discord message.
But how did he know that Karl was there? It could literally be anybody. I think dude, getting dragged into a call with the gaming drama YouTuber isn't the same as anybody else on planet Earth, right?
Messages that I don't believe he linked in his actual, like, evidence thread here really quickly. So inside my
the group chat
communications with the Completionist at 4:41 p.m. he says, hey man, I'm finishing up my meeting. I'll be available in a bit. Then of course at 5:06 he says, ready whenever you are.
He's not saying when you guys are.
So 5:43 p.m. I say, sure, inviting you to a group chat. So of course 5:43 I then invite him to a actual group chat. To which that group chat starts right over here. So again, if I was just going to call him, I would have just called him on my actual, like, Discord.
Dude, he can't leave the... Dude, imagine if he just doesn't show up when he sees Karl Jobst is there, and he just bails. He would have looked insanely guilty. Dude, you stealthed him with Karl Jobst.
That would have just been normal. I would have just sent a call to him, which I didn't. And obviously, why would I invite you to a group chat? Why would I even mention a group chat if there wasn't another participant the whole time? Again, his claim that this is an ambush is just insane.
What? Dude, this is not the hill I would have died on.
When you just basically apply some critical thinking to the story. Even if you go with the idea that he's ambushed, again, if he's going to get called in a group chat, it shows all of our bubbles. Karl's profile picture.
Bro, if he said he can come into a call with you, and you add him to a group chat, and you stealth him with Karl Jobst, and he goes, actually, I'm busy, I can't come in there, he looks guilty.
I always do the possible.
That's how it would be interpreted, no? You'd say he ran from Karl.
Picture is pretty distinct. I believe it hasn't even changed. So ultimately, at the end of the day, he pressed that green button knowing full well what he was walking into.
This is such a weird argument.
So then the call starts, which lasts 33 minutes, which is where he disconnects for the first.
I feel like Karl only invited Mutahar to do this because he could stealth him into the call. Well, look, dude, if Mutahar wanted to be upfront about this, he would just say, hey, I'm working with Karl Jobst and we're investigating. And he probably wouldn't have gotten the interview. I think that most people could acknowledge that. If he said, I'm working with Karl, I'm going to bring you in here. And again, when you say we, the implication isn't that, like, 2 drama YouTubers are going to be in this fucking call to do this, right? Like, I don't know. Okay.
First time in that call. So then I'm like, hey, we know you're having connection issues at the moment. I think we pretty much asked all the questions we needed.
Oh, no, that was after.
It would be comfortable, if you would be comfortable in writing your thoughts or a statement for us so we could just have your side to present, right? If you wanted to give us more context, whatever. Now, if you actually
Nick
listen to
just
that
started
call, there was no
insulting me
ambush.
viciously on
He kind of
Twitter.
sang like a canary. Now, he could say that he was in a panic attack, which is a great deflection to sort of invalidate anything.
Bro, he was obviously in a panic attack, but that doesn't invalidate anything that he said. Wait, are you saying that he was totally of sound mind and body when he was sitting there stumbling over his words in front of you? He was obviously in a panic attack. It doesn't mean you have to... that doesn't dismiss the shit that came out of his mouth.
That he said. I don't know if there was a fucking panic attack. I'm not going to say that I understand the synapses firing.
I understand your dislike of Muta, but have you considered that perhaps he might be close to someone who's a meth addict?
In somebody's head, that would be insane.
Oh, God.
But to say that this was an ambush is complete nonsense. For anybody that is going through a panic attack and is worried that Karl is present, and he goes, I got my phone working again, and then he immediately jumps back into the call over here. I can't hear.
Yeah, because he looks horrible if the fucking call drops and he runs. Dude, this is so stupid.
Stupid Discord. Totally. Guys, I'm so sorry. Give me one moment.
Does this not look like somebody who's panicking?
Something. This is super nuanced, obviously. So again, you know, we're not sitting there kind of forcing the dude in. If you listen to the entire call, you know, if anything, we're just letting him sing like a canary, which is the stupidest thing that he could have done. But he just does it.
Yeah, because he was having a panic attack. Oh my God.
Now, the thing is, obviously, look, could I have probably said me and Karl are in a group chat? Sure, absolutely. But he was not ambushed in this situation. And I think it's insulting to both Karl and I, like, if he was just going to jump...
Good! I'm glad you're insulted! Yeah, it kind of is!
...into a call with me thinking that I was going to listen to his bullshit and believe everything...
It's not the worst ambush ever on planet Earth, but dude, come on.
Tweet.
Come on, bro.
Nicholas DeOrio.
Do you think he would have jumped in if you said it was Karl Jobst with you? Do you really think that if you said it was Karl Jobst, he would have jovially gotten to the call?
Not press him on a few things is insanity. And it's also insulting to Karl because he's just automatically assuming that Karl is coming into this with negative intentions. And
he is!
At the end of the day, I can relay very clearly that me and Karl have had no negative intentions throughout the course of that investigation. At the very beginning, you know, it was some discrepancy that came up. We looked into it. And honestly, for me, I really wanted everything to be...
I actually... This guy is just, like, absolutely fucking indefensible.
Favor, because he really was a wholesome Chungus guy at the time. Look, it really was an issue for me going into this, because at the time when I was covering Gerard, you know, it wasn't like covering...
Are people buying this?
It wasn't like covering the fucking FaZe guy.
Bro, you guys knew you had the fucking story of the year. You had a huge investigation. It's gonna be fucking huge for everybody's channels. Oh, dude, we were trying to reach out to the wholesome Chungus man to get his side of the story. Bro, you were looking to assassinate this guy. Imagine if he said this about Mama Max, that we called Mama Max with the expressed intention of fucking, oh, dude, Max is just hunting those pedos, man. We just gotta find out what's going on, man, you know? No, we sat there and we listened to the entire fucking Spencer thing. All right, we sat there, we listened to Spencer's entire fucking story. We gave a level of charitability, but dude, I would never go in there and say that I only had positive intentions in that phone call. You're insane. I obviously saw the concept of being able to question these two people and get like definitive answers on shit and press them. Like, that's why I'm there. I'm there looking to like prove the arguments that I would like to put forward.
Like covering like an internet scumbag. This is somebody with a wholesome Chungus personality.
You thought that they were committing charity fraud.
And it was really the first point where I felt like I had made objective videos about somebody and people were kind of taking sides based on which personality they liked, which I'm sure is still going to happen in this situation. And it's kind of soured me on investigations because really it shows...
No, you suck. That's what soured you on investigations. You're shit at them.
That people are not willing to critically think. They just want to be mad at somebody. if they feel that they want to be mad at someone, right? You shouldn't be mad at you shouldn't be mad at an internet personality because, you know, you want to believe whatever bullshit is against them. You should be looking at every single thing critically, right? It goes...
Yeah, like all the stuff that you do.
For personalities you love, personalities that you hate. Look, I wouldn't like to sit here and fucking slander the FaZe guys or slander Logan Paul or any of these people, you know, unless there was something that, like, I believe that they did was wrong, and I can at least objectively prove what they did in those videos were wrong, or I can show you reasonable...
Imagine if Logan Paul put his fucking... his update and explanation inside of a 2-hour Metal Gear Solid video.
Evidence. So that was actually one of the issues right over here. Him framing it this way is something that I really take offense with.
Good.
And it's one of the things where when we'll go on to the...
I can't believe that there's such a huge portion of this dedicated to Mutahar justifying why he didn't mention that Karl Jobst was going to be in the group chat.
Later section of this video.
A later we're never going to get there. Just be clear. I'm nearly done. I am nearly done with this segment.
You know, all of these mischaracterizations, you know, I just want you to remember, okay? Because he tries to backhand, like, apologize to me and Karl later on.
Bro, he's just fucking rambling at this point.
And obviously, given how he's...
Do you think that he knows he's guilty, or do you think he's delusional?
Framing the story doesn't make sense. Now, when I think of the panic attack from his new response video, it takes me back to a clip from the original video where I really think the panic attack comes from the fact that his own action...
I'm inevitably going to watch the accountant section. Wait, is the accountant thing in this video too? Does he go after accounting in YouTube in this video? What is excerpt from... Wait, did he just copy and paste Karl's video into here? What is this?
Expensive open hand to pay for...
He just copy and pasted and put Karl's video in his video?
And inside that...
Yeah, so... The point he is trying to make is that just because an event raised a certain amount of money, that doesn't mean that's the amount of money that is donated, which of course can be true. Works very similar to how the open hands go even.
So I'll let him...
Okay, no, it's not that much. Basically, right. I thought the whole rest of the video was just that.
And so he and my mom started this company.
He says all of this shit as if literally 2 years ago...
God, he is so pathetic,
on a call, he didn't just come out and say, guys, I'm just trying to get out of content creation.
I'm not trying to be like, do you guys want money to help me hide this? It's not what this is at all. I'm just asking from a humanity perspective of, like, if I am the target of this, I have 20 mouths to feed. I have sponsors. I have a business. I'm trying to make video games. I'm trying to get out of content creation so I don't have to worry about YouTube anymore and do better things in the world.
Dog, you know, it's crazy that this is the guy that apparently can find every fucking Korok seed in Breath of the Wild, but he just can't give us a salient email to look at when it comes to talking to many charities. This guy is full of shit, okay? The reason he's coming back...
This is a weird position to latch on to. Because it would... I mean, on one hand, it would be easy to provide one singular email. But do you think that these guys... If Gerard came out and said, here's your email, fuck off. Do you think that that would satiate that, I guess? Do you think that would keep... Do you think that they would accept that and remove their video? Because, I mean, this is such a huge part of this video. He's constantly referring back to it.
Is because ultimately you can't take years off playing fucking video games, you know, completing them on your off time without a substantial income, okay? I'm sure he's burned every bridge with his family, yada, 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 and now he's got to make some fucking money, okay? I get it. I understand. But don't fucking come onto the moral high horse and pretend that this is some passion you fucking care about. Shut the fuck up.
Dude, he wasn't... I swear to God, people are like, he was always like this. He was not always like this, dude. He was absolutely not always like this. This is so weird. Alright, well, I'm done watching this. You can watch the rest of this in your own time. Holy shit. Your install is...
Limited to solicitation for charitable purposes.
Dude, how does that even happen? How does the fucking... Dude, how does that even make it into the video? I don't... It's insane. Alright, whatever. That's great. Holy fuck, dude. What is this?
They've got the story about a restricted lump sum donation, but listen...
Dude, I love the lump sum tribe. Oh my god. That's so funny. I have no words to describe the feeling of hearing Gerard begging for them not to release their findings. Oh, dude, maybe you should just watch it the first time they posted it, or like the second time they posted it. Is there anything? This keeps getting better and better. This guy sounds like a Psycho X. Love the content, Muda, but the audio levels are all over the place here. I don't think he cares. Brother, you have almost 4 million subscribers. For the love of God, fix your microphone and get a proper sound setup. We can hear every individual tap and bump on your desk. Yeah, I can barely hear him on my wireless earbud. I'm glad your numbers are down since you got exposed. Yo, me too. Holy fuck, dude. Mutahar down bad for... Okay, this is just like... I don't know if this is like somebody who actually hates him for reasonable reasons or... Oh no, you and Karl are bozos. No, this is like a Gerard stan. Wait, no. Can't even beat Billy. No, maybe not. His videos have been hit or miss. I know the audio has always been bad, but dude, this is just like... He used to put more effort into the long-form response videos. YouTube is unfairly shutting down tech channels. This is serious. Look, wait, is he actually... Dude, remember when he quit drama? Logan Paul won the Crypto Zoo allegations. Oh, his hair's fucked in this one too. Jesus. It's already getting hacked. Huge Doom drama. I don't know about that one. This is going to be a controversial video. I'm still being blackmailed. A very important... What has happened? What is his channel now? Dude, where's the video where he just starts talking about, like, the shooting? Where's the shooting video? The shooting video is so funny. Has he removed that one yet? What was this one?
Something that... Hello, guys and gals. Me, Mutahar, and, you know, ladies...
Oh, no, that's his burnout video.
Slimy Weasley fuck.
Just found out I'm paying for 5 AppleCare subscriptions for my family's AirPods.
Oh my god.
So here's some money to make me feel I know where my money's going.
I'm not doing like another fucking multi-hour thing on this. This is like an extra segment another day. I'll watch like the accounting and YouTube part, but I don't think we're gonna do another Gerard segment. There's no way I'm watching a 4.5 hour fucking